Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Arvanauts, to a stream. Welcome to a Tuesday stream, actually. It is November 23rd, 2021. It is the Tuesday before Thanksgiving here in the United States. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And we are here with more of course, as always, this Adventures in Middle-earth, Erebor Adventures. We had to reschedule last week for reasons that I will, again, remind everybody about in just a second. But I'm happy to say that we are back and we are ready to go. And I'm very, very pleased, especially for today's session. It is in a lot of ways a joyous occasion, and we'll talk about why in just a bit. But before we get there, it's good to see everybody, and let me just remind everyone about ways to support us here on the channel. If you haven't done so already, please follow us here on the channel. Please check out our YouTube at !ArvTube. Discord is !ArvCord. Twitter is !ArvTweets, and our website for this is arvanelleron.com. On the financial side, Arv Shop is the merchandise area where you can get stuff for my Infinity and Beyond campaign, for Adventures in Middle-earth, and Esper Genesis to be coming soon as well. So that's the deal with that. Arv Treon is the Patreon, where you can support the channel. That's really the financial backbone of the channel. You can get inspirations to help the players. You can get cool stuff for you individually, and get stuff for the group as a whole, for the channel as a whole, and that is always very much appreciated. Arv Treon is the way you get over to that. And of course, subscribing to the channel is always appreciated. You get those sub badges and emotes and those custom things that you can use everywhere across Twitch, and of course inspirations to help the players, and that is appreciated as well. On the publishing side, Icarus is my Icarus graphic novel from the amazing Athos Arts. Library is my Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, which is my 5e adventure and source book from the amazing Alligator Alley and Entertainment. And Alligator Alley and Athos Arts both have Kickstarters. Athos Arts is going to have a Kickstarter, which they are collecting followers for. I believe I saw Garlic Tofu hanging out here, so if Garlic would be so kind as to put a link again, that would be great. We have a general Athos link, but we need to get a Kickstarter link for them as well, which we'll definitely do when the Kickstarter goes live. But in the meantime, we're still gathering followers for that. Thank you, Garlic. And that's for the new audiobook, which is going to be coming up of their Dragon book, so that's cool. I'm excited for that. And then, yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking, Garlic, yeah. And then as I said, library for Alligator Alley Entertainment, and that one is also going exceedingly well. Their Kickstarter, which is Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks, I believe that's it. Yeah, Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks is right there. And if you take a look at that link, you will see that they are currently up to 36,575, 480 backers, and they are now officially halfway through. So their goal was 20,000. They're halfway through the Kickstarter, and they have raised well over, 1.5 times, something like that. They've raised well over their goal, and they're continuing to push on, which is great news for them. It's also great news for us because of our connection to them in the channel, and both Alligator Alley and Athos Arts, of course, are going to be involved in my Greyshade Kickstarter, Greyshade KS. More details about that coming soon. I have a lot of stuff moving on that front now, and I'm going to be excited to reveal it to all of you as soon as I know what the hell all of it is. So it's going to take a little while. So we've got that going on, but please support the publishing ventures over there, over in those various places. That would be appreciated. And as always, BLM, Black Lives Matter, very important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives, and !Help Now, which is the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Very important to reach out to others when you need help, and to reach out to others when they need help as well. Last note that I want to make about schedule here is that at the end of our session today, we're going to be closing up shop on the vote for this month's Patreon Field Chat Chosen Game of the Month. We've got Heroes of Might and Magic 3 complete, we've got Sunless Skies, and we've got Lost and Random. Those are the three choices. So get in your votes, because at the end of the session today, I am closing it down. That's going to be played next Tuesday. Right now, Heroes of Might and Magic 3 complete is leading with 3 votes over 2 votes for Lost and Random, 1 vote for Sunless Skies. So get your vote in right there at that link. As I say, at the end of the session today, we will be wrapping that up. And so that's the deal with that. Schedule-wise, we've got this going on. Oh, yes, cool. And I'm excited to talk about the thing that Amal just put there. Because schedule-wise, this is all going to tie in, actually. So schedule-wise, we've got Adventures of Middle-earth now. At 4 p.m., I'm going to be over at GOG.com's Twitch channel for Pen and Pixels, and our next episode of D&D with GOG Ghosts of Saltmarsh. So that's going to be awesome as we return to the world of Greyhawk. Then we will be off tomorrow, and on Thursday, of course, we have American Thanksgiving, so we will be enjoying ourselves, as I hope you folks will be as well, with turkey, etc. And then on Friday, we have got Esper Genesis, but it's going to be a very special Esper Genesis session because at a minimum, we are going to have the amazing Carlos Hernandez live and in person at our house, at my home here, Wind Coast Studios. He and CSA Cooney, his wife, are both coming up. They're going to hang out with us, and I am very excited for that, both because they're good friends and also because it means that Carlos will be able to do some cool stuff. Yes, I will talk about that in just a second, Garlic. That will be some very, very cool stuff that is going to allow us to do some live stuff from here. So you're going to see a live broadcast, and there may even be something else of a surprise for that Friday Esper Genesis stream, but that is still up in the air. So the only thing we know for sure is the fact that Carlos will be here live and in person. So that's going to be awesome. That's Friday. And then Saturday, of course, we have a return to Eberron as we get some D&D with Infinity and Beyond Eberron, Oracle of War. And on Sunday, we have the return of Soundclash the Clampdown with new player Iori Kusano. So very, very exciting to have those people come in as well. Also good to see you, Echo. I saw your comments from earlier, and please hang in there, Echo. I'm glad to see that you're here with us, even if you have to leave and go to Tron and all that stuff. I get it either way, but I'm glad to the extent that you're able to be here. So that's the deal with that. Now, I do want to very quickly mention what Garlic brought up, which is the fact that we, of course, are hosting various events for the Bag of Giving charitable, I guess, organization. I don't know if Mike and Brandon want me to call that a, foundation yet, but Bag of Giving, which supports various charitable endeavors. The first one of those happened earlier this month called Fall of Magic. That was really awesome. And our next one is scheduled for December 5th, and we'll talk more about that a little bit later this week. But that is all to benefit Bag of Giving, and exclamation point bag will give you information about that. And Garlic Tofu's, I should say, not Garlic Tofu's, Athos Arts has a special thing that they are, I think it's for the month of November, right, Garlic? I think it's November, but anyway, stuff that you purchase from Athos Arts, some of that through November, some of those, the proceeds from stuff bought directly from their website is going to go in part to Bag of Giving, and they are supplemented as a part of the Bag of Giving stuff. I've given half of those proceeds. I've given a couple of things as well for giveaway to Bag of Giving and all that. So very pleased that Brendan Crilly and Mike Underwood's charitable endeavor here is getting some traction, and very honored to be able to host it on my channel. And so all that's good stuff. And there will be other charitable events, again, coming up in the not too distant future. So you will definitely want to make that happen. I think it's just Athos. Yeah, there we go. It's just Athos. We'll give you the information there, and so you can see the Black Bottom Archives and also Bag of Giving. So good stuff. Definitely support those as well. So there's a lot going on. Thanksgiving Thursday, Esper Genesis Friday, Infinity and Beyond, Oracle of War Saturday, Soundclash Sunday. A lot of stuff happening and all that. So with all that, I am going to unmute myself and let the folks know that we're ready to go. And then I'm going to unmute them. I'm going to apologize because we had a lot of stuff to announce that we were talking about. And then I'm going to bring us over to, and I am genuinely happy to see, now I'm always happy to see all of these players, but I am genuinely happy to see the gentleman on the bottom left. And before we talk any more about anything, I want to publicly say how glad I am to see my good friend Brad back with us. And Brad, I'm sure Trent will not mind if I change up the usual order and allow Brad to be introduced first. It's good to see you, Brad. How are you doing? How are you feeling? How are you hanging in there after recent events?
Well, glad to be here. Number one,
yeah.
I could easily have missed this week too. So some people will know I had a stroke just about 2 weeks ago at this point, was hospitalized for a couple of days, was released luckily after those 2 days, and I've been on the mend since. Symptoms are fairly light, a little bit of numbness on my left hand, my lips. You may hear a little bit of slurring from me here and there, but hopefully it's kept to a minimum. But yeah, things are coming along. I do want to take this time because I'll just mention that as I told the guys before we hopped on here, one of the people at the hospital mentioned, that the really heavy strokes, where people are just completely debilitated, have dropped over the years, and I'm, partially that's due to the techniques that they have at the hospitals, of course, but it's also due, I think, to public awareness. So they mentioned to me that, they give you literature, of course, about a stroke when you're there. And I'll tell people what they are just so you can know. And you may never experience a stroke, but you may see someone else experience a stroke, in which case you need to help them and get them to a hospital very quickly.
Yeah.
And so the acronym is Be Fast. And of course, you can always look this up, online. Some people consume this kind of information better by reading it. But the B, I have the fast part. I may misremember the other ones. B is balance, so be fast. Balance, if someone's sort of off kilter, that's one indication. And the more you have of these, the more likely it is they may be having a stroke. E is, I'm going to forget what E is. I may come back to that. Fast is what what they've normally used. Face drooping is one side. So F for face drooping. A, arm weakness on either side, which could be caused by the stroke to the opposite side. Speech difficulty for S, and then T, time to call 911. Get them to the hospital quickly. Get help if you're experiencing it yourself. And so yeah, I credit getting there quickly to help reduce the symptoms, and things are slowly coming back. I have still a fair bit of difficulty typing with my left hand, but I'm, day by day, I'm noticing that creeping back towards normalcy. I kind of have to look at my left hand sometimes to get it to do what I want it to do, to sort of readjust. But more and more, I'm able to touch type and do things kind of normally. I'm a lot more careful with things that I do, just picking up coffee cups and things like that, so I don't drop them. I'm a bit clumsy, here and there, but by and large, the symptoms were relatively light, and thank goodness I'm seeing them, kind of come back relatively quickly. So yeah, I'm fortunate. I'm glad to be here, glad to be on sort of a regimen to reduce risk going forward, and yeah, happy to see everyone.
Yeah, it's good to have you here, Brad. And yeah, I'm going to put a link just very quickly to I just did a very fast search for Northwestern Medicine has a thing that has Be Fast. Stroke.org is the sort of the one that people are most familiar with, the different stroke symptoms, but that mostly just deals with the fast part. And I have to admit that I actually don't think I had heard the BE part before. So yeah, I mean,
I'm looking it up. So the E, sorry, is the eyes.
Is the eyes? That's
So
right. Okay. Yeah.
If they're having trouble seeing, if they have loss of vision in one eye or the other, that's yet another symptom. So
yeah, and either way, definitely not something you want to play around with. So it is wonderful to see you. And Brad and I actually exchanged texts, I think that day, or shortly, I guess, as soon as Brad started announcing that this stuff had happened, and I was like, holy crap. Yeah, anyway, it is good to have you back, and it is. It's the kind of thing where this stuff doesn't go away, obviously it's this thing that is now a marker for you as in terms of a milestone, but it also is nice to see how certain these things, for me anyway, I think, and you may find this the same way when you go through different milestone events, like say getting back to playing a tabletop game with friends, that some of that helps restore critical aspects of normalcy for you. And so anyway, I hope that'll be the case. And I know everybody in chat was, who's here watching and on Discord and everything we're thinking about you, so I'm glad that you're back here.
Yeah. And I will just mention on that whole front, yes, the milestone events, help restore normalcy, which in turn helps reduce stress, and just having lower stress just really helps in recovery. And so I will just say, a shout out to everybody, including everybody here, everyone who's watching now, people who may watch in the future. The show of love and support while it was going on, even though I didn't respond to everybody, just really helped. Just, I don't know, you feel cushioned, a little bit, and that just helps to ease your mind a little bit, and just help you move forward through that. rocky time, especially in the hospital and stuff, where you're not sure what's going on and what's going to happen. So thank you to everybody.
Oh, that's awesome. And yeah, this is a show about fellowship, right? So, and you know, I'm glad that you're back in this fellowship. Who are you playing, Brad, in this fellowship of ours?
I am playing one Bolabras Tuk, a hobbit treasure hunter who is learning the ways of the world quite quickly.
Yes, and who is has seen treasure for himself now, and
Yeah,
will have the results of
yeah.
all of it.
As I logged in to the to the Roll20, and I saw the map, that we had and stuff, I'm like, ooh, yay, yeah.
Yes.
It's like putting on a your favorite like robe or sweater or something
Yeah.
like that, like
Yeah.
coming back to the game. So yeah, looking
That's
forward to it.
awesome. I'm really glad about that. All right. Well, moving on again with gratitude. A good Thanksgiving week to have friend Brad back with us. It is also wonderful to see our friend Trendane with us. Tren, welcome. Good to see you. How's life in the universe with you? How you doing and all that? Oh, and you should have the new bed now, right? Do you have the new bed? It didn't happen. It didn't happen. I thought you were doing it.
It hasn't been delivered.
Oh, it hasn't been delivered. All right. Okay. Thank God for small favors.
December 1st.
Okay. All right. So we're getting there. How you doing? How's life with you, Trent, and who you playing?
The weird thing is that according to California law, they have to take the old mattress, but according to what I'm seeing on my order on the website, removal of the old mattress is not included. And I'm like, wait a minute, we're gonna have to talk about this.
Yeah.
Anyway, it'll be here at some point. The adventure in shopping for said mattress was better than I was expecting it to be, but that's just because the friend of mine who used to work at a mattress firm and Sleep Train, he knows, he was a salesman and all, he knows how to deal with that shit. And I'm like, why don't you come with me and you will be the buffer between me and the people I'm going to want to kill before we get through this whole thing. And he was like, okay, we can do that. And so he came over. I was asleep at the time because my sleep schedule was shot. And he knocked. My housemate, who heard him knock from outside the room, said that it was a good, solid knock. From my side of the room, it was like, so of course I didn't wake up. Anything that soft, even if I do hear it, it's going to get incorporated into my dream. And I'm just going to be like, somebody's knocking on a door in my dream.
Right.
And I won't know that. So eventually he opens the door. That snapped me up. And I was like, hi. Shit. And then he's like, ready to go mattress shopping. I'm like, no, I don't want to go, but I have to. So, and same thing with my housemate last night. He's like, so you want to go shopping for groceries? I'm like, no, but I have to. So we went and did our shopping and that. So it's a crazy week. And now that ModCon has officially been announced, I can actually talk about it. So if you've ever modded your Skyrim game with, mods,
and who among us hasn't?
I mean, really, if you're my housemate, whenever he starts up a new Skyrim game and he gets to the end of the cave where he can actually finally go down to the River Bend or whatever the name of the place is, he just like turns left and goes somewhere else and does not follow the path. He just goes and plays the game his way and whatever. But they wrote it to go that way. He's like, I don't care. Anyway, so if you've ever modded your game with anything, you may find it. And if you've ever wanted to learn how to mod a game like Skyrim, that's what ModCon is for. It's for people who are interested to know, how do I do this? If I want to be a writer on a mod team or a graphic designer, 2D, 3D artist, animation, voice acting, whatever, we're going to cover all that. That is December 4th and 5th that we will be doing that. Supposedly, we're going to finish just as I've got D&D games here at the house on Sunday. So I'm like, no, I'm not available for that. But, Saturday, yes, I can do. And so we'll be doing those. Some of the panels I'll be an MC. Some of them I'll actually be a panelist, and we'll see how it goes. Sorry, I was about to respond to something that was going on in Zoom chat. I was like, wait, you're not asking me really. You're talking about, who am I playing? Thank God, Trend, finally. I am playing a very large guy named Tonnebear. named. No, his name is Tyre.
I know his name. I know his name. And his name is.
So close.
My name is. Yeah, he's Thane Tonnebear, the Hearthmender, dwarf friend. There
you go. See,
and he is currently standing outside of a tomb, whatever it is, with not so fun companions.
it'll
really
be fine.
companion.
It'll be fine. I'm sure you're referring to Clifford of Bree, right? That's the companion
Like the
that you're
air
concerned
quotes
with.
for tomb.
Yeah. It's fine.
It's a tomb. It's a real tomb.
Yeah.
Okay,
Definitely.
tomb. But would I say that he was a companion? Well, Terry.
And that, of course, brings us over to Terry Tunes. And this has been an eventful month for so many of us doing so much stuff. And that includes, of course, our dear Terry Tunes. It's good to see you, Terry. How are you? And yeah, what, has there been anything going on recently in your life that's kind of important? Shifts in things or anything like that?
Like, I don't know if one can tell from my face, but I'm even more tired than usual. Like, some people here have troubles with like high blood pressure. I have problems with low blood pressure to the point where they like have to sometimes remeasure to like see if it's really that low.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yay, tall woman problems. Anyway, probably mentioned it at some point last time, but boyfriend and I bought a house. Woo!
Yay!
So I've
Congratulations.
been like in the middle of renovating and like getting my shit in order, and it's just so tiresome.
Let me just jump in for 1 second quickly, Terry, just to acknowledge we just got a 42-person raid from Ananda. So thank you, Ananda, for joining us. Ananda will be in my D&D with GOG Ghosts of Saltmarsh campaign later today. Thank you so much, and welcome Mistress PXE, Scurvy Goblin, Knit1 Play 2. Thanks, Mash. Bitoman, Mortwest, thank you, Divinorium's here. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate it. Welcome to Adventures of Middle-earth. We're just doing character introductions, and sorry, Terry, continue. Just wanted to acknowledge that.
Scurvy Goblin sounds like somebody you really want to get to know.
Arr.
Arr.
Arr. But yeah, like renovating the new place, make it like ready enough to move in, like getting 2 rooms done.
And you've been shouted out in chat, Terry, about that. Nariel Marinan has just talked about the ton of work that has been done around the new house.
Why are you watching the stream? Don't you have band practice? Anyway.
That's funny.
That Dari is aforementioned boyfriend. But yeah, we've been like working on the house a lot and like painting and stuff, and it's just so much. And
yeah, it is.
yeah, so that's what my time has been like. Aside from that, December is around the corner, which means that Heraldry December, the second installment, is gonna start soon on the 1st of December. So any artists out there, if you want an art challenge that's a little bit different, do keep attention to my Twitter, where we'll be posting stuff about that at Taritunes. And yeah, aside from that, I am playing Thane Inge Homefinder, daughter of Ida, Council of Dine II. So she is a dwarf of the Erebor, a wanderer, a stonemason, a clan chief, and the companion of the most valuable pony. Lilleman is his name.
Yes.
And also, she is absolutely fucking done with everybody's segregationist bullshit currently. So,
yes, there's a lot of that going on within game. That is very true.
Yeah.
I should also say that Lilleman MVP is not just only most valuable, but also, since they are outside, most vulnerable pony. I'm sorry, I didn't. I don't know what that means. That's fine. I'm sure it'll be most victorious pony, Terry. It'll be fine.
do I?
Do I have something to throw at R of thousands of miles across this? Oh, dang. Wow. Listen, that's not, look, hey, I'll tell you right now. You have no power here, musket loader person.
Wow.
But you don't want to threaten ponies. This is why you don't do that. It just it never ends well. I will also point out that Inge at the moment is miserable, and not just like miserable as in an actual situation because of what's going on, as we will explain in a moment. It's good to see Terry. It is also good, as always, to see Amal Elmantar, who's with us. The last time I saw Amal actually was a few days ago, when she and Max Gladstone were kind enough to once again stop by my science fiction class and to speak to them about This Is How You Lose the Time War, which continues to be an amazing book. And it was incredibly generous and awesome, and it was a really good time. And so thank you again publicly, Amal, for doing that. And it was lovely to see Amal even in virtual form in this way. And it was also funny because people are like, one of my students afterwards was just like, oh, so you've been friends with him for a while. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, and it sounded like one of them was like, so it sounded like you talked to her about something about seeing her recently. And I was like, yeah, a couple times a month, we that kind of thing. And they were like, they're like, do you, and one of them, knows that I play table. I'm not like concealing it, but it's like, I don't go into big detail about it. So it was kind of funny. So my one student that now knows that we play table is like, she plays tabletop games? I was like, yes.
Oh
wow, that's the most amazing thing. So anyway.
I mean, literally,
so, yeah.
Max and I, over and over drilled down into how nerdy we are and how much our writing is like
great.
rooted in role-playing games when we were teenagers and stuff. So, but yeah, it
was great. How are you, Amel?
Now I'm like craving to see like your early days of writing Vampire the Masquerade fan fiction.
I mean, is it fan fiction when it's canonical about your own character?
Oh, I see how it is.
Genuinely, this writing exists in like chat logs, because mostly I was playing these games on the internet, like in the early internet. It's how I met some of my like dearest friends who have been at my wedding and stuff like that. But there used to be these like these city by night chat rooms, basically, where you would have like, here it's like Las Vegas by night, and here are a bunch of different locations that are different like chat rooms essentially, and your characters turn up at them, and there's like stuff. Anyway, so I played a bunch of White Wolf games online that way, and chat transcripts of those do exist, and chat transcripts of like games that I played in like Changeling or Vampire or rare occasions Werewolf and Mage.
All right, Chad, you have your marching orders. You know the drill.
Yeah,
no. Go forth and be prosperous.
My email.
Be prosperous.
Don't do that. But yeah, I'll cop to this. I mean, I was super into Homestuck, and I did troll play at some point. So for like all two people who probably know what that is. But anyway, role playing great. I am actually fresh off of sort of being in the position that Arv just described, in that I was teaching this morning, and I had Carlos Hernandez and Claire Cooney come to my class to talk to the class about poetry of theirs that I put on my creative writing course. So the cycle continues, and I kind of paying it for, and it was genuinely wonderful. They did an impromptu poetry salon, because they've designed a game called Negocios Infernales, which I dropped a link to in the chat, but I'll totally do again, because the Kickstarter for that is going to launch next year. It's an amazing kind of collaborative storytelling card game, and the deck that they developed with an artist named Rebecca Houston is so like just generative and magical, and
we featured it here several times. The Infernal Salon. They did an Infernal Salon on our channel for this, and
so good.
Yeah,
that's wonderful. I'm so
very
glad to hear that.
familiar with it. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Great. So yeah, they did that for my students. The students absolutely adored it. It was really great, and it was a very nourishing and wonderful time. So anyway, I'm just kind of slightly gently coming down from that in time to get all revved up for what we're doing today. So I play a character called The River. She is a woodsman of Rosgobel. She's a warden, aka a fighty bard. She wields dual axes and a harp, not at the same time, usually in battle.
Well, she just had 3 arms.
One time memorably in battle. But yeah. Anyway, she only uses the harp to fight dragons, it's fine. But she and her faithful hound of Mirkwood named Stone are part of this group and are also in dire straits. Although River was one of the only ones who actually made the wisdom saving through, or the wisdom check. I can't remember which one it was, but she did not gain further misery, already being miserable.
I was going to say was already miserable. Yeah. The only one currently who's not miserable right now is actually Tawny, which is funny because Tawny's actually outside where the sound came from. But
are you sure that Inge is miserable? I don't have it written down for some reason.
Inge is miserable.
Yeah.
I am sure.
Also, Oh, I see. The problem was that I can't change the number.
Inga's miserable, the river is miserable, Stone is miserable, and sadly, Bolo and Stone are additionally incapacitated at the moment.
I think, I don't know if it's the same for the others, but I think the DM has to punch that in.
Oh, in the sheet? I don't know. I'll check that later on. I'm sorry, Amel. Go ahead and finish.
No, it's all good. That was all. Yeah.
When you came to San Francisco to do your reading of Time War, there was that young couple that we were hanging out with afterwards when we were walking around.
Yes.
And when told them how we knew each other and that you play D&D, and she was like, "What?" I was like, "That's adorable." Okay, that was so.
I think Brad, Tren, and I can all acknowledge, for the youngins, relatively speaking, that are not those three, what it is like to be able to have people go, "That's the coolest thing ever," when we are of an age where that was not the reaction that you would get at certain times in the 80s when we first started it. So it is,
I just want to say this is also not the coolest thing to hear when I was still in school.
Well, okay, fair enough. So but it was even worse. No, I'm just kidding. You're right. It's probably. But I'm glad that it is that we're in a different place now. Anyway, it's a wonderful pleasure to have these good friends with me and playing with all of you. And let's get into it, people. We have 2 hours. I want to make sure we stop right at 3, and I want to get moving here. So, in our last session, I just pop up the sound, and it's just all ancient wind, weather, wind sound, all wind. I'm like, okay, right, I got it. There's a lot of wind. I was very into wind, I suppose. And that's the music, I think, Brad, that you might have heard before coming in right now. There we go.
Into Wind would be an interesting character name.
There we go. What is?
What wind?
Into Wind.
Into Wind.
Into Wind.
I have an intuition.
Yes. That would... It's
no.
Stop winding us up. Okay, no, we're not going to get into this, or it's never going to end. Winding. Okay, let's move forward. In our last session, the party of the Anduinats had made their way to save the dwarven scholar known as Domi. In a couple of sessions previous to this, they had actually come across the war band that was holding on to Domi and his companions that had basically ambushed them and brought them to this place where Domi and his dwarven companions were digging. And what the party ended up finding was that there were 2 groups of people there. One of them were these strange bandits and their goblin leader, who was directing them, and then the other was this group of hobgoblins that came across them. And thanks to some clever use of distraction techniques and sort of playing into the natural suspicions that these groups would have for one another, the party managed to get them fighting each other, and then was able to eliminate the threat, essentially, and even to capture said goblin leader, which they did as well. So the party did all of that. In the meantime, the Domi and his companions had indeed been digging in this place because they wanted to do more of it. There was a spot there that they wanted to be able to open up, and it turned out that they revealed a tomb, the final resting place of at least one member of the line of Jirian of Dale, which was obviously very significant for both Laketown, Dale, Bard, and that group. And as it turns out, for the dwarves as well, because as the party entered, along with Domi and the other dwarven companions, they ended up crossing over this great chasm. They had to figure out a couple of ways to open up secret places and so forth, and finally made it into the sort of treasure chamber. In fact, let me jump over to the other map here, and you will see there is a treasure chamber here right here. And in that treasure chamber, they found, most notably of all, there was definitely a fair bit of treasure that was sitting around it, but the one that was the most notable item of this was a piece of beautiful armor, a coat of armor of Jirian's eldest son. And when torchlight fell on it, the dwarf-linked rings shimmer, the description went, like flames upon water. This was a spectacular piece, and obviously is dwarven made. And so the concern from Domi and several of the other dwarves that had come with him was that this had been what he was afraid of in a way, because what it meant was that there are going to be multiple people that have claim to and interest in getting this artifact in particular. Obviously, those descended from the line of Jirian believe that it belongs to them, but many of the dwarves who made it, and we've talked a lot in this adventure about the growing rift between dwarves and men in this area over who gets what and why and under what circumstances. I believe Inga's term for this was the segregationist bullshit that we're dealing with. I think that's an appropriate way to put it. And so the party was dealing with this as well, so there was concern about the implications of it. At that moment, Inga, in frustration, grabbed the armor, not like took it, but just like, put her hand upon it.
No, she tried to pick it up. Like, the question is, did you allow it?
Yeah, that's right. And the answer was that all we got to was just that you had laid your hand upon it. And then there was this terrifying...
Then everything exploded.
Basically, everything exploded. Because Tani was still standing outside with Clifford, the man from Bree, who was the horse tender. And outside, there was this horrific... Inside the tomb, inside the mausoleum, there was this terrible chill that set upon the party. And outside the tomb, there was not only this chill, but this terrifying sound that went something like this. One more time. This horrific, inhuman screech that did several things. Now, inside the mausoleum, what it did was the sound of that laid the party low in many cases. I've already talked about all the people that are miserable here, but Stone and Bolo in particular were weighed down by this. Bolo, of course, had been just mesmerized by the armor, by the treasure. I believe the way that Bolo described it last time was that it was something which was very... he had always wanted treasure because of what he had heard from Bilbo and was excited to do it, but now he had begun to realize the historical import of this treasure, that it's not just a thing that you get and like, that belongs in a museum, but that like there's a story and like a thing involved with it and multiple claims and so on and so forth. Hey, Trevor, good to see you. So there's that. And so there was that, and then this screech happened, and Bolo, who already, because he was underground, was miserable, was just sort of bowed to the ground and just, like, literally can't even function. Same thing with Stone, who just dropped to the ground, whimpering, and not even whimpering, just silent with his eyes closed, ears, flat back against his head, just sort of on the ground. It may be, by the way, River, that this is the only time you've ever seen Stone too frightened to function. And just like right there. And so the only one who was not miserable at all was Tani, which again was interesting because outside is where this screech actually came from. And I wanted to specify a couple things from Tani's point of view. The first is that Lillimon and Clifford both have this sort of similar reaction that you're able to note, which is you managed to throw off, Tani, this experience of it, although obviously it's still frightening, but you have thrown off the sort of greatest effect of it. But there was a terrible neighing sound that came from behind you, and indeed, Lillimon had broken away and is sort of galloping away from Clifford, who is running after him. Although, and I should, before everyone panics, not galloping away at such a speed that immediately is disappearing on the horizon. Like, you think that they'll be able to get him again, get him back, but is definitely running in fear. And Clifford is pursuing him. But Tani, as I hand things back over to the party, and I'm going to start with you, and then I'll jump inside to the people inside the mausoleum. I want you to make, please, for me, an insight check, not a perception check, an insight check, as you see the body of Clifford stumbling after Lillimon. And you're only able to do this because you were not made, affected by this screech as much as the others.
This should go well. 7.
Yep. So pretty much. So you just see him.
I
you just
rolled
see
a
him-
1 and a 2, so
1 and a 2. So you just see him stumbling after Lillimon. Lillimon is again sort of, and there's even in the galloping though, one thing I can tell you is that even in the galloping, Tani, there is this feeling of weight. Even you feel it. This sense of something pushing down almost upon Lillimon. So Lillimon is galloping away, but it's almost as if you're looking at the running of a nightmare, you know, where you run and can't get away from something no matter how fast you try to command your limbs to move. And that kind of is the experience of this as Cliff runs away. So I'm going to give you the chance to act first, Tani, and then as I said, I'll jump inside the mausoleum to the others. The screech that you heard has now passed, but the sort of dread of it still sits heavy on the land around you. What do you want to do?
Kind of 2 minds on that. One is to see if I can see the source of this screech. And the other is to try to catch up with Cliff and Lillimon. Mostly Lillimon, because Cliff is heading that way as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if I catch up to Lillimon, supposedly Cliff will catch up with us too.
I
Okay.
just a question. I'm realizing I might have imagined this, which we're all imagining things. But like,
What? This is not real.
of the mind. No, did I? So we did. There isn't. Wasn't there a creature that burst out of the mausoleum? Did I
No.
make that up?
You were watching Alien recently.
I was going to say, like,
No.
the Kool-Aid Man jumps in. No, there was no
Oh
creature.
no!
Okay, so there's no creature. There's just the horrifying shriek.
I mean, yes, there was. Terrible. No, just I wouldn't do that to you.
Oh,
no,
it
there
was
is no.
the seal, the tentacle seal
Yeah,
monster.
right. Yeah, sure, exactly. From the chasm, the watcher.
I
on the
mean, you're
chasm.
joking, but that is actually like for some reason there was the shriek, and then like I was sure that what had happened was that something had like burst forth that Tawny could see. That was why I was.
No,
wondering.
not as of yet. Not as of yet.
Great. Also,
You're not alone, Amal. I vaguely recall that too, but I just don't remember the details.
okay.
I think there may be something. I think I know what you're
Shared
getting.
delusion,
I think I know
apparently.
what you're considering, and we'll get to that. I guess that I know what you mean. It wasn't exactly bursting out, but I know what you mean. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Yeah.
So there was no source to the sound that we saw.
Correct. That is correct.
Okay.
That's correct. So you hear this sort of terrible screech. And so, Tani, as you are sort of looking for the source of it, I'm going to have you make a perception check for me while running after the, Lillimon and Cliff.
This will go well.
Hey, see? That did
That
go
actually
well.
goes well.
Online.
23. So as you're running after them, you don't see the source of the screech because what I'm about to describe is much too far away for it to have been the source of this.
Good.
However, that's the good news. The not so good news, there are dark shapes that you can see in the sky far above you, Tani, that are
so good.
beginning to circle lower and lower in your general direction. Now, they are still
Of course.
some distance from here.
Turkey buzzards, right? So I can I'm not dead yet, and they'll go away.
Precisely, they are large. No,
Maybe
you
if I
can't see
bathed
what they are
recently,
yet,
they-
but they are sort of dark shapes. Now, they're still far enough away that they're very small, but they are getting larger reasonably rapidly. Not again, they're not diving at you, but they're definitely circling in your direction.
The eagles are coming.
Eagles are coming.
Eagles.
Yeah.
One of those is my friend. I'm sure. Here, I bought a piece of rabbit. Wait a minute. That's not a. Oh shit.
Oh, that's never mind the rabbit. Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, continuing to haul ass after.
Haul us. Exactly,
The
Dave.
big-
Ha
the
ha,
big
we're
horde.
in danger. Yeah, exactly.
Right, exactly.
That's exactly right. So okay, you're hauling after them, and as pretty quickly Lillimon, Cliff, you notice that both Lillimon and Cliff are running away, but there's something else strange to you as you begin to catch up to them, Tani. Probably about 5 minutes later, you sort of close in.
Merge
Lillimon
into
is
one
slowed.
creature.
Yeah, exactly. Lillimon has slowed into just sort of a trot, and Cliff has finally caught up to them. But the thing you note as you come up to them is that neither Lillimon nor Cliff are making any sound. Like Cliff is standing next to Lillimon and sort of has his hand on Lillimon's mane, but is not. But there's no like like calm words that you've heard Cliff use before or anything like that. And Lillimon is not sort of like whinnying or anything, just standing there. And when you come across them, you can see that they're both there. And Clifford sort of has his almost absently stroking the mane of Lillimon, and Lillimon is just sort of staring off into space.
So they've gone Tharn. Awesome.
Gone. If you haven't read Watership Down, you should do that.
Yes, a wonderful book. So, anything you want to do? And I'll come to the Mausoleum in just a second, but anything you want to do there, Tani?
Well, I mean, see if they respond to me at all if I try to, talk to them or like.
They do, but it's slow. Like it depends on what you say. Like I don't know, what do you want to say? Like do you?
It's basically like, are you all right?
Yeah, and so Cliff is sort of. Yes, I'm all right. Yeah. Lillimon here looks a little worse for wear. Like the words are slow and the movement is slow. And Lillimon too kind of gradually moves his head in your direction. And as you watch, you note that they're starting to move a little faster, but it's almost as if there's this weight that's been gradually lifting off of them here. So also those shapes are getting closer.
Okay.
So are you doing anything before I jump back to the Mausoleum?
How far away are we from the Mausoleum now?
So I'm trying to think, as far as you could run in 5 minutes, or jog in 5 minutes. I don't know, a few thousand feet. I mean, you can see it.
The reason that I ask is that these things were coming down towards where I was. Are they now coming down towards where I am? So it is clear that they are coming towards us and not simply heading for where the tomb is.
It appears that they are heading towards more the mausoleum than you.
Okay.
Yeah. So
then, basically would say, we have to get back. Our friends are going to be in trouble if we don't move right now.
Yes. All right. Come on, Lillimon, and sort of, pulls Lillimon, and Lillimon kind of reluctantly turns, and then you start to trot back. But Tani, it's frustrating, right? Like far too slow. Like you're kind of let's go, come the feet, and they're just like slowly trotting towards them. As that's happening, inside the mausoleum, I've discussed what happened before, and River, you're the one who I think is the least impacted. I mean, you're miserable too, but you're least impacted by this immediately anyway. And so you're able to look around and see what I've described, which is that Bolo is bent to the ground, just utterly like shivering, like not even incapacitated, as is Stone. And everyone around you is sort of looking up kind of fearfully. The sound has passed. You do not hear any more of the screeching, but the chill still remains. It's the coldest I've ever been, I think, was when I was teaching at BU for 1 year after I got my doctorate, and that winter was particularly cold, and I would go to, I taught at the College of General Studies at BU, and there was a little, like, one of those passageways in between buildings where, like, the wind would particularly whip, and the cold in your bones gets so extreme that it honestly felt to me like it took, like, a month of spring weather to clear it out completely. Like, it was that just bitter cold. And so that is beginning to lift slowly, River, but very slowly. And you can see your companions in the state that I've described. So I'm going to give you a chance to function first, and then Inga and the rest.
I love that Tari is like literally putting on a blanket.
It's perfect. I know it.
Like,
it's cold here in New York.
Winter. So
it's cold in Connecticut here too. Yeah.
Can I actually ask how is Domi's party doing? Are they also laid low by this?
Yeah, not as much. They are definitely affected though, and you can see that Domi's kind of is casting a fearful eye above, but they are not like they're not incapacitated, and they're not like, but they definitely are deeply troubled by whatever just happened.
I'm wondering if I can do an insight check. What River is wondering is whether not wanting to confuse what is the fallacy, propter hoc, the like the thing happened. She wants to kind of know, did Inga touching the armor make this shriek happen, or were those two contiguous events that did not actually affect each other, essentially? And I'm wondering if that's something that can be intuited.
I don't think.
Or is it just really obvious that she did in fact cause it? Or
No, I would not say that's obvious. It's because it happened so fast and all at once that it's not clear whether or not. Yeah, it's not obvious where you touched it. Almost might have been simultaneous, but but either way, an insight check wouldn't be able to tell you that. You could, of course, you could, and I don't want to make this sound like I'm pushing you to do something which will be dumb, because it wouldn't necessarily be dumb. You could just touch the armor again and see. I understand that everyone's like, what? Why would you do that? But like that's like the easiest, most obvious way to test whether or not this is what caused that or not. I'm not trying to put you into a bad spot. I'm just saying you could do that.
Yeah, I don't think that's really River's concern. She's more concerned with like what is happening. So, so she also, incidentally, just to clarify this too, like I have been, River became miserable from entering the waste, essentially, like from being in the waste, and coming into this mausoleum was actually a bit of a relief to her, as being sort of in an environment that wasn't the waste, and also that was deeply beautiful, and that there have been these there were mosaics, I think, or were they tapestries?
They were mosaics.
Mosaics. So from like, she's seen these like dazzling mosaics that like haven't been seen by human eyes or dwarven eyes for ages and so on, and she's totally dazzled by those things. So for her, being in the mausoleum has not been this misery-inducing experience. It's been a little bit lessening of that. Not mechanically, but somatically.
No, I got it. That's fair enough.
So I'm just saying this is background to like, so for her, seeing like via what she has been seeing this incursion as kind of violating the sanctity of this space, and as something that is very troubling, but that needs of geopolitics have been making to happen. So her first concern is for her friends, and she, like, when the scream happens, she like finds herself like looking around to see the source of this, but there isn't a source. So when she sees Stone drop down and Bolo shivering, like she sort of reaches for both of them, because she's also been concerned for Bolo this whole time, because he started to get nervous once they were enclosed underground. This is all partly to recap things for myself emotionally. So she's so I see her as like, she kind of drops to a knee to like put a hand on Stone and like an arm around Bolo's shoulder at the same time, and just kind of hold them. And then she looks at Domi and says, "What was that?" expecting that he should know.
And Domi sort of looks back and, I don't know. It's a cry out of a nightmare. But there's something where you can feel the chill on it. It's, I don't know. It was, I thought it might have come from outside, but it sounded down here too. Outside, they could be, and he seems like a little bit sort of, flummoxed, obviously, and then says, you need to get outside and check on your friends up there.
All right. She looks to Inga. How is Inga doing, incidentally?
Greg, can you repeat, please, what miserable exactly does?
So, basically miserable means that you have, mechanically it means that you have disadvantage on attack rolls and that you automatically fail charisma ability checks. So you just feel at the moment, and I think you described it perfectly, actually, Terry, when you were talking about Inga's reaction to all of this, because it is the sort of the weight and frustration of dealing with this stuff down here. Like, you found this treasure, and then the treasure, instead of being a moment of joy, like, oh look, it's this wonderful heirloom from the past, it's yet another source of like problems between dwarves and men, and you've been dealing with this now with both Brokenstone and all that forever, and you're just, so your sense of it is just weighed down by all of this. So but you're not mechanically, you're able to function, but like, it sucks. Like, this all sucks.
I mean, what kind of person would go to war over an object in this world, right? Like,
right.
Who does that? Like, that is just... Why would you do that? And like every like Noldor who's still alive is like, shoot.
Exactly.
So Inga was about to grab the armor, which is, I'm assuming, over here, right?
Yes, on that little stand. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I guess she like basically put her hand on the collar of the armor and was about to like drag it away.
Right. Then
And
the
then
screech
she
happened.
hears that screech,
Yeah.
like just freezes for a moment, and just... and like holds her axe like this and just starts stomping out. Like, not running, but you know, like Nordic walking, basically.
Okay.
Out walking outside.
Did you say Nordic walking?
Yeah, no, that you need sticks for that. No, like.
Oh, okay. I'm just imagining like the natural gait of like a Finn or something. It's just
Like, what is that gate? But I got what you're saying. It's the
Wait, is that not a thing?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Now that you describe it, I know what you mean. You mentioned the
to
poles.
me, Nordic
like with
just
the poles.
means like a person from the Nordic countries, but
No, Nordic walking is like a specific version of power walking
Yeah.
where you have like sticks.
Okay.
Yeah, they have
That's
like a
what I know.
Nordic
I
track,
meant
an old
power
exercise
walking.
machine where you did that, and like, yeah.
Gotcha,
I got what you're
gotcha.
saying.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
So you're moving in that direction. Bolo, in the meantime, I should say, so Bolo is just still like literally incapacitated, like can't do anything right now at the moment, and is just shivering. The sound of that screech, Bolo, continues to echo in your mind, and that combined, it's sort of like the flash of the armor, your memory of the treasure, and then that horrific sound, as just sort of there. And so I can't ask you what you want to do yet because there's nothing you can do immediately, except just to say that like it sucks.
Can I speak?
No, not at the moment.
Not even-
You were just same end with Stone. You can actually hear Stone kind of Stone occasionally whimpers slightly. So you're aware, Bolo, like you're definitely aware of some sounds around you, and gradually you can feel this terrifying chill and dread lift from you, but you're not going to be able to do anything until someone assists in some fashion.
My only thought was if I could like cry for help type thing. I'm associating this thing, whatever's going on, with being underground.
Yeah,
I'm kind of
Doesn't
conflating
help.
the two a little bit, and so I guess as I become more aware, I'm just saying, get me out of here, get me out of here, get me out of here.
So like what I think that what River is actually going to do before she stomps out is that she like doesn't know where the danger is going to come from and wants to keep everyone together. So if Domi is there saying like you have to go help your friends and stuff, she's expecting probably something's going to come from out. But I think that what she's going to do actually is okay, actually two questions. One,
Sure.
Does like Girion's armor would fit a human-sized person, right?
Yes.
Cool.
She dons the armor. Well, crap.
I mean, it's right there. But I know. Probably would that take too long? Actually, I don't think she knows.
No,
how to,
I don't think it would take a
armor.
long. No, I don't think it would take a long time.
Put on armor.
Domi is
I was
giving.
gonna say it's like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
This
exactly.
is no.
know.
Remember, this is Mithril. This is not standard weigh you down and you have to use a crane
It's not
to get
about
you on
the
a horse.
weight.
You
It's
have
about
like clasps and shit, and
Oh,
you need to make sure that
well.
your hair doesn't get stuck in it, and so it's like, oh god, like especially if it's like probably chainmail, right? Like,
It is.
partially, right?
It's ring. I think
So
it's ring mail, but like
ring.
it's basically
Yeah.
But that
Yeah,
said,
that
there's
is
also
like
the fact
so
that
annoying to put on.
yeah. Yeah, but I just wanted to
I
point
could
that
go
out.
find
It is
photos
very
of
light.
myself wearing chain. No.
Yeah.
You know what? Here's my.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get into the right frame of mind here, so I'm trying to just kind of forgive me if I keep on repeating things. I'm conjuring them in order to try and like do the thing that River would do instead of the thing that I just think is the cool thing to do, which, like. So River has been like, has been resisting the idea of even coming into this tomb specifically because it's like the past, it was sealed away. The point of it was to like keep it, but to not let it, hurt people and stuff. This is a place of great grief and stuff. But she is also like, she wants to protect her friends by any means necessary, and if there is something terrifying coming, she will want to like fight it essentially. I really want her to put on the armor. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like, I think it would be really cool, and I think it would make some sense, but also it would be like she doesn't like. I don't think it's something that she actually wants to do, but might think that she needs to do.
You'd also need to think a little bit about the reaction of the dwarves. Given,
this is the
given
thing.
when Inga grabbed it, Domi was like, "Wait!" Like, what do you, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So here's what I'm thinking. I think that River is going to scoop Bolo up, essentially.
Okay.
And because he's only small, and she's going to hold him, and she's going to look at Domi specifically, and look at the armor, and say, "Do you think that Inga touching that armor made this happen?"
And he sort of sighs. I don't rightly know, but it doesn't seem likely. Perhaps it's true that being here in the waste, there's been some corruption that's settled down upon it, but I don't know. I can't imagine that even still, the enchantment that'd been placed upon it some time ago would have allowed some kind of evil thing to come that did that. I think it might have simply happened at the same time. But you should know that that is not any normal suit of armor. Anyone who touches it or places it on is stepping back into history. And he kind of shakes his head. And history is filled with that conflict.
Do you think that someone else is coming to take it?
I think at some point, someone, as soon as word gets out, there'll be more than one who will come. Petty thieves all the way to rulers of men and elves and dwarves. We're gonna have to contend with it one way or the other. Either take it with us, or something similar. And whatever we do, we can't be seen to be looking as if we're profiting from it, or it'll be a disaster for all the free peoples of Wilderland and Erebor.
Would the kind of echoing chill of that horrible screech still kind of like damp on the walls?
Right.
River looks at it and looks at Domi and says, "I think we're going to have to fight our way out of here. I want nothing to do with this armor or this history, but I will step into it if it will help protect us. Will you help me put it on?"
I am going to ask you to make a persuasion check for me, please.
I automatically fail charisma checks, don't I?
Sorry to break in. I have peered outside my hobbit hole and I see a wagon coming down the road with some cabinetry on top, and I must go and let them in.
Okay.
I'll be back.
Sounds good.
There, you're cradled, incapacitated in River's arms right
It's
now.
good, yeah. It
Okay.
all works.
A good place for me for the time being.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I will say she's not trying to persuade them. She's trying to, I mean, and she doesn't have the capacity right now to try and persuade them. She's almost more asking permission, you
Right.
know. And she basically, what she's saying is, this isn't my history or my armor, but these are my friends, and I will fight to defend them by whatever means necessary. And it's up to you to decide what to do with that. You have more claim to this than I do, but I will wear this if you put it on me.
I'm gonna keep it. I just want to help carry the load for a little while.
share the load. No. So Domi, and of course, there's another dwarf that's actually in here as well. So Domi and the other dwarf sort of look at each other, and Domi sort of shakes his head and looks ineffably almost sad. His old wizened face seems even older somehow. And he says, "Many's the time that the wearing of something to help one's friends led to worse problems down the line." And he shakes his head. "I'll put the armor on you, but you must know that when you're done with this fight, you'll have to take it off again, and some of the others, they might not understand." And even as he's saying that, you can see that the other dwarf looks like is angry beyond, like just
How can you do
astonished and
this?
enraged, like what exactly staring, and is staring actually less at you, River, than at Domi, and it's kind of like just what, and and Domi sort of looks over and then just is kind of like, "Well, what would you have me do? Would you prefer that all of us die in the name of this thing?" And the dwarf says nothing and just takes his axe and storms out after.
Yes, I
after
would
Inga.
prefer that.
Yeah. And so storms out. So it's just you and Domi in the chamber, and you holding Bolo.
And Stone.
And Stone who's right there next to you, who's slowly starting to lift his head a bit. So Domi basically has said that he will, but he is like, he thinks this is a really bad idea, but he's not gonna. He will help you, but like he's not gonna like attack you or anything. But he thinks this is a bad idea. Like there's all kinds of problems that he sees coming. So you just have to weigh, and that doesn't mean you can't do it. I'm just saying you have to weigh all that in your head.
Okay. All right. All right.
And once you've made your decision, I'm gonna jump over to Inga.
Yeah. I guess a thing I should ask here, this is mechanically speaking, like, again, I cannot stress enough how, like, River does not lust after this
I get it.
armor.
I get
She
it.
is, like, super not into that. But does it look like it's mithril, it's magic armor and so on and stuff. Can she get a sense from looking at it whether it will actually, like, impede her in a fight?
You'd need to actually like hold it at like feel its weight before you would know that.
Okay.
If the legends are true, items made of mithril were wondrously light, almost like cloth or silk. And so it certainly would not impede you more than regular armor. Like it will impede you less than a regular suit of armor would, and would impede you as much as your current, what you wear. So probably not if the legends are true, but you won't know till you put it on. Interestingly, since it was originally made apparently for a prince, for Jirian's eldest, it actually probably would fit you fairly well, River, because you'd be of a similar build. It would definitely not fit on Tani, maybe like a half chain shirt, or something.
Oh, it's like a free midriff and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
exactly,
for that
exactly.
look.
Are you saying I'm fat?
Genuinely, that more than anything else is why she's saying this, because she knows, she's looking at it, she can tell like she is the only one of the party who would be able to wear it at all. And so a big part of her thinking this is that if we're going to fight over this stupid thing, then it may as well help us fight these other guys, or whatever is coming, essentially. Yeah, she's gonna do it. She's gonna do it. She's gonna
All right. So as
the
Domi
Tyrians
brings over, as Domi brings brings you over, and so do you just like lay Bolo carefully by stone? Because
Yes.
he obviously okay.
Yeah.
Just to this image of you just dropping him on stone.
No!
I'm just joking. No, you lay him by stone.
Lay him down gently.
And then you go back over to it, and Domi, with great reverence, lifts this armor. And, Domi, as we've said, is quite an old dwarf, and yet has no problem lifting it off the stand. As it is pulled off the stand, there is no repeat of the screech. You hear, however, a whisper, of the armor being lifted. Not the kind of heavy, thing you would expect, but just as if something were brushing silk upon silk. So you is lifted off, and he begins to put it on you. While this is happening, Inga, of course, and Inga does not know that you've done this, by the way, which I love about
she
this.
ran.
Yeah,
she
I know.
ran.
No, it's great. I can't even tell you how great it is. So,
But before, I just want to say one thing before you switch scenes
Sure.
is that, in order for Domi to put it on, what I'm imagining is that River has had to, kneel down on the ground in order for him to, put... I'm imagining it as, a shirt that comes overhead, right?
Right.
And so, she'll kind of kneel and bow her head to do that. Okay.
So as that is happening and this is being placed, we cut to Inga, who is coming out of the mausoleum now, maybe eyes adjusting a little bit to even the gray light above Inga. And as you come up onto the stairs, you can see that that Lillimon is gone, as is Tani, as is Cliff. But you also see some figures coming towards you, across the plains, basically across the waste, and almost immediately, they're not that far away, almost immediately you can see that it does look to be the large figure of Tani and the smaller figures of both Clifford and Lillimon. But you can note, excuse me, even from here, Inga, that all three of them are moving with some slowness, and in particular, Cliff and Lillimon are... Lillimon's head is hanging, and they're moving, but not very fast. So I'd also like you to make a perception check for me, please.
Sir.
By the way, River, as that's done, you are kneeling next to the shaft of light that is coming down and striking the sarcophagus in which Jirian's son was laid to rest. So I just wanted to point out the visual of you being next to that sarcophagus as this armor is being laid on top of him. Okay. So a 20, okay. Inga, you sort of as you get up there, you're also kind of look up to sort of be what the hell, up in the air. And you don't see any proximate cause of a particular screech, but you do see a series of figures. And actually, specifically, we're looking at about 4 or 5 shapes in the sky that are circling and that are getting ever closer to you, and heading down directly towards you / the mausoleum in this sort of wide but narrowing as they come down spiral in your direction.
At the current speed they're having, can Inga estimate how long it might take for them to get to her?
Couple of minutes would be your guess. But it also depends on whether they could pick up the pace. They're going increasingly quickly, but they're not dive bombing you.
Oh, okay.
But they are definitely targeting. They're moving in clearly towards you and or the mausoleum.
Wait, can she only see the flying things, or also something else?
She could see the people. You see, Cliff and Tani and Lillimon walking towards you, but then up in the sky above you, you can see the flying things.
Yeah, I guess Inga would just take a stance basically and wait for these things to arrive while holding her axe ready.
Okay. I'm gonna come back to that. Tani, you see a stout dwarf, and I don't mean in terms of body type. I mean like strong and powerful and all that. Emerge, and almost certainly it's Inga, and you know that partly maybe with a slight smile on your face, in that you see Inga shaking her head and then taking the axe and kind of doing the wide-stanced, shaking my head look that Inga often had, I can't believe I have to deal with this crap, but I'm going to type of thing, standing near the top of the stairs. And after just about a few, maybe, I don't know, 30 seconds or something, or a little more. As you're walking towards her, another dwarf emerges from behind her. Obviously has to be one of Domi's people, but sort of angrily marches out past her and, with his axe by his side. And he looks, I don't know, you don't know why he looks, but he's sort of moving with a kind of angry body language. Go ahead, Tani, you were gonna say.
That's exactly who I was about to ask about.
Yep. So, and you can see those figures. And again, you've been sort of like, let's go, like try, and they're trying. They are moving a little faster now than they were, but it's just like this ponderous, only slowly is this ponderous dread lifting.
Yeah. So Tony's, I guess he's kind of made a connection that this is probably the result of, because he shook the sensation off, but he's probably got a pretty good idea that the reaction to that sound is what's got them like this. And so he's trying to use, words of encouragement, try to be, say uplifting things, not say it's a dream, because clearly it isn't one. And
this is not a dream.
Right. And that's not really not going to help, tell them it's not a dream. No, this is really happening. Isn't that great?
Wake up, everyone.
Not really. But yeah, he's trying to use very supportive and encouraging, with somewhat slightly, look, you really need to get a move on, kind of
gotcha.
stuff.
Okay.
To try to spur them.
Yeah, and that does seem to be having a sort of slow effect. The other thing I wanted to ask about was, I wanted to confirm the goblin was outside, correct? Was left outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tied up.
Right. So when you come up here and you get up to the top, Inga, the other thing you notice is that the goblin is also not there, but lying on the ground are what look like severed bonds. But this is very important. They are not severed, from what you can tell, by a knife or a sword. They look as if they were split, like just ripped apart suddenly.
Oh, God. By the sound?
I mean, who knows? But definitely it was not a standard, like, I'm going to saw away. It wasn't like that. So you note that as well. And then as you're sort of looking, I think, Tani, you probably arrive back, and I'll come to the river in a few moments. But I would say, Tani, you arrive back with Clifford and with Lilliman just maybe a minute later. And by the time you get there, the shapes in the sky have grown considerably larger and are now probably not that far away from you. In fact, as they circle, you can now make out more of what they look like. And I happen to have a picture of these things.
Do we really need one?
I think you do. I feel like, chat, do you want to see these things? Because I certainly want to see these things.
They're
Don't you
not
want to see
playing.
these things?
Okay,
They're beautiful butterflies.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful.
They're lovely, lovely creatures. Yeah, see, immediately. See, even Terry's boyfriend wants to see them. So, I mean, obviously, that means that we have to...
Well, to be fair, he is the biggest Lord of the Rings nerd that I know, and I know you guys. So.
Wow. That's dang.
Fired.
Wow. Yep, chat has voted. All right, what you see flying above you is this. These terrible looking, they almost look like, you mentioned the whole turkey buzzards. They look like enormous birds of prey. They have wide wings and sharp talons and serrated beaks. And the black feathers of their wings that you look at them seem to be sort of layered as if they are not normal feathers, but almost as hard as iron. And almost more terrifying than this is the fact that they make no sound at all. They simply glide in towards you silently. They are as large, just about as large as the giant eagles, actually, but they are not the eagles. And on the back of one of them, you see a creature that has its blade held high. You're almost positive you've seen this creature before. It looks like the goblin.
That brat!
And he lowers his blade, and he makes he does make a sound, and it is some weird guttural cry, and the birds, still making no sound, dive towards you. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like us to do something we like to call initiative.
Can I just say, as we're doing initiative, like, I was actually expecting, like, something more akin to Nazgul. Giant vultures, they're actually really pretty. I like them. They've got big wings.
I'm just gonna like zoom in a little bit for chat, just to show, as you say this, like, you know, that they're pretty.
Look at them!
I'm just saying.
Look at those gigantic monthly wings. Aw.
Are the Nazgul even like running around yet? Like, are people aware that the Nazgul exist at this point?
I don't think they would be aware that the Nazgul exist as such. And these
People in
creatures are
Mordor.
definitely not in any way. I hope I have not in any way made people think that what you're looking at is a Nazgul.
No.
It's
I was expecting.
It's a Naz vulture, but not a Nazgul.
Yeah, like I was like saying, like the Nazgul only like came out of their holes when like Sauron started like actively looking for the ring, right? Again.
Yeah, Triffid, I said like buzzards, like vultures, basically. Don't forget to you touched your character.
Buzzards
Good,
aren't
that works.
vultures.
No, they look like buzzards and or they look like vultures. They have some similar looking to each other, though. Buzzards look a little bit like vultures, for sure. Also, California
No,
condors.
they don't.
Does
They're
anyone
like
know what they look?
falcon type thingies.
What? Buzzards? No.
Yeah, they're adorable. I'm gonna put one in chat.
What what? Buzzards are not adorable. That is not true.
No, that
Denied.
doesn't work.
Okay, let me get something better music-wise than this gentle, like, ancient wind.
That is the wrong chat. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to put it in this chat. Ignore that. Here.
Oh, okay, cool.
That is not a buzzard.
That is not a buzzard.
That is a buzzard.
That is 100% not a
here.
buzzard.
Wait,
It's a bussard. That's a German name.
Aw, so
It's a
cute.
medium to large
Why is a
bird.
bussard? It's a mouse buzzard. That's what they're called. They eat mice.
But what?
Here, that is a hawk.
No.
No, that is the common buzzard, according
What?
to Wikipedia. Yeah.
Buteo.
Yeah. No, it's correct. In fact, here.
My
family
worldview
of
has
the-
been shattered by this new representation of buzzards. This is not.
Yeah.
Buzzards are buzzards,
Where
man.
vultures and buzzards get confusing is when the casual names of these birds overlap. While buzzards and vultures are distinctly named and separated in Europe, Africa, and Asia, some birds go by both names in North America.
Aha!
When European settlers first colonized New England and other parts of North America, they gave familiar names to unfamiliar birds in an effort to remind themselves of home. This is how the American robin got its name, as its orange-red breast is similar to the coloration of the European robin, even though the two birds are not closely related and look nothing alike.
Wow,
Early
idiots.
colonists called the large soaring birds they noticed in North American skies buzzards because they looked similar to the flight patterns of the buzzards in Europe. The birds those colonists were really seeing, however, were not buteo hawks, but were turkey vultures and black vultures, which are widespread in eastern North America.
Okay, that's
And
what I think of with buzzard
Yeah.
is a turkey vulture, because that's that. Yeah, like.
that's what they look like. I'm dropping this in the chat. This is, here we go. And yeah.
This is why we don't use the metric system. So
Yeah, see
Hey.
that right. That looks more like a buzzard to me. Yeah. That's
because of the
what I would imagine, and so that's a turkey vulture. Okay, so it's just literally we were just driven. You know, it was because the Europeans didn't know what they were doing when they settled here, and that that's
Yeah,
that's
but
all.
those are the ones that you are all descended from. So.
Oh, listen, this is not. Listen, yeah, because I definitely have trouble calling out my own ancestors for a bunch of crap. Good God.
This
We
is
have
very
some major
thematically
issues.
relevant to the episode that we are currently playing. So,
It's
you know,
very
I
Also,
think that's
like
great.
relatively unrelated, but like there was also this photo, and I thought
Relatively
it was
unrelated?
worth sharing.
Baby.
Wait, what is this? Yeah, see, okay, but that, yeah. I mean, look.
Yeah,
So,
it's-
yeah,
it's
we're
all
rolling
swaddled
initiative.
and stuff.
We're totes rolling initiative, right?
Yes, initiative is,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
I was
drink
already,
your
I was
token.
doing it while he was going along.
and that bird is pissed off, by the way. That bird is very pissed
It's
off.
like, I'm
No,
a
no,
buzzard.
no. He's all tucked in, so he's very comfortable and happy. And he's like, thank you for tucking me in.
Oh, my heavens. Okay. So, right. So let's see. There are 5 of these in all, and one of them is being ridden by apparently your goblin friend, by which I mean not friend. Okay.
We learned its name, right?
You did actually. I think you did.
Evan.
Did
We
you?
did.
Before I tell you, it was Furball.
Furball, that's the one. Yeah.
Okay. Let me just make sure.
A fur ball.
Furball. Okay. Right. So we have got here. Let's take a look what we've got. We have got here. Line must be drawn here. We have got. Let's see. The river. Inga and Tawny. And Inga, can you give me your dex score? I think you have a higher dex than Tawny, but I mean, I'm not sure actually.
My dex
Yeah.
is 14.
Tawny, what's yours?
Then mine.
Sorry?
Mine's 12.
Is 12?
12.
Okay, yeah. So, I wish we could. Does
Also,
someone mind rolling
I'm
for?
a fast girl. Like, don't forget, I have like all the fast things. Fast things.
Sure. I mean, of course.
Well, I have more movement speed than everybody else.
That's right,
I get
you
to
do.
like extra move on the end of enemy turns. I'm down.
These are true.
I can roll for Bolo.
Yeah, I was going to say if you could. Yeah, please.
Just a moment. Set this to
Oh God,
Bolo
now I have to think of that one scene from Office Space, of like the woman who like does the phone thing. Just a moment.
That's exactly who I'm quoting.
I don't know. I don't remember what she's exactly saying.
Once again, I think this makes some sense as an order on account of I imagine the river is gonna come out carrying Bolo.
Yeah.
Then she yeets him at the goblin.
Tosses at a distance. Okay, and then we've
This
got.
bitch empty. Yeet.
It does 700 points of damage. To Bolo. No! Brad comes back. We're like, well, you left for furniture, and we're sorry. All that stuff, nice stuff we said
There's
about
good
you
news
earlier.
and bad news.
Yeah,
the good news is you're not
so-
miserable anymore.
Bad news is
Bad news is it's because
You
you're
need a
dead.
new
You're not
cabinet.
anything else. Yeah, exactly. We wondered if you
Exciting
wanted to do a
news!
new.
You get to roll a new character.
At this time of year, we start thinking about renewal and
Oh.
new things. And okay, right, okay, yeah. And
Hold
Big
my
Boss
life,
and,
my blinking life clock.
yeah, exactly. Big Boss and Nary are talking right now.
Hey,
in chat
there he
about
is.
are talking right now about
Okay, what's going on now?
Hello.
how they're debating whether they're facing
And
vultures
Bolo
or buzzards.
springs up
Yeah,
and
exactly.
draws his knife.
And leaps forward. No, it's actually fun. Okay, so what happened, Bolo, is you're actually about to see this because the river is going to be going first here. But there are creatures descending in the sky, and you can see them on stream. And one of them is being ridden by the goblin Furball, whose bonds have been severed, not by a blade, but have been apparently exploded or something, shredded. That's what Inga saw, and is now riding one of these things. So as they circle in on the mausoleum. So I'm going to begin then with the river. And River, I assume that you are... I can set this so that basically you're emerging from the tomb at this point, holding Bolo, if that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah, one quick question before we do that, just to remind myself and maybe also everyone else. Was Furball also the kind of nemesis that Bolo was sniping back and forth
You
with?
got it.
Yes, okay.
You got it.
So, all right, cool. Just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page about that.
I'm going to switch this to Ken's only because I don't have a map for this specifically, so I'm gonna do this.
So, yeah, I'm imagining that, so that River has donned Garion's armor with Domi's help, has scooped up Bolo and is carrying him tenderly, and I'm imagining she would have asked Domi to help with Stone, to bring Stone to the mouth of the mausoleum. I mean, he was similarly unresponsive. And I'm imagining that she is going to step out into the sunlight, carrying Bolo. There is sunlight. It's daytime, isn't it?
Where it is daytime, but it's not. I wouldn't. Sunlight is a little strong.
Okay.
It's pretty gray here in the
All
west.
right, that's cool. Well, she's gonna step out wearing the armor, and then really gently put Bolo down, and draw her axes, and take in the situation. So, is Furball within range of attack at this point?
So yes, I will, and I'll talk about that. I'm going to actually pull up. I was about to write buzzard for the token name. Okay, so I just bringing on some tokens for these creatures so we can see them more clearly. Thank you one more time to the amazing makers of Token Tool, which has been useful on multiple occasions. Okay, I'm going to bring this one on now. Uploading. There we are. Okay. So, we're going to make 2,
Boy.
3,
Oh my god.
4, and one last one. 5.
So we're fighting Skeksis, basically.
Yeah, you
They
missed the big debate about what a buzzard is or looks like. It was a European-American battle that was resolved by a Canadian, so that obviously makes sense. That never happened before.
Fantastic.
Oh god, it's like.
All right,
Okay.
so and we have one of them. Go to the top. Go to the top. To front. Nope. Okay. And fine. To back then. Something. There we go. Perfect. So he is riding on the back of one of these things. Okay. So now, as you emerge, and you're holding Bolo and you put them down as you say, you can see these creatures are now circling and preparing to basically dive down. I would say that Furball. I would say these are not in range yet, but will be next turn. Like literally next turn, they will be in range of attack. Although they are now clearly closing ranks and getting ready to just dive down directly. And again, the silence of these things is the thing that's almost most terrifying, because most of the time birds make cries of various kinds. Even the eagles, will give various caws of defiance and so forth. But not these things. They just move silently in the air. So you're not right in position where you could attack them quite yet. And the rest of you, by the way, Inga and Bolo, you're just sort of coming to and being able to see, this. And Tani, the river is wearing the armor from...
The armor that I've never seen.
That's right, is wearing this incredible suit of armor. That's right, you never went inside. Wearing this incredible suit of armor, but Inga, you recognize it, of course. It is that same armor. You don't have to do anything about that right now. Just think about it.
Well, Inga is genuinely speechless and has a very conflicted look on her face.
I bet. I'll bet she does.
But
okay.
she tries to stay focused on the imminent danger.
Right, I imagined.
Does this armor have head covering?
Yeah, it's a coat of armor, and then there is the
hood,
the chain. What do they call it? Coif, right? That goes over the top. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was trying to get a sense of whether there was a visor or something. No, that's cool.
And it sparkles even in the limited light that's there. It does sparkle. And
out of curiosity, the whole point of donning the armor was to enlist it in their protection and stuff. Are there bonuses?
Yeah, we'll talk about that when you're not going to know that till hits begin to come in, but we will talk about that at the time. It is the lightest armor you have ever felt. It is. It is like
nothing at all.
Exactly. It's like it is like wearing water, actually.
Aww, that's cool.
Which you can do on the ISS.
Yes, that's true.
On the
International
right.
Space Station.
Sorry, I had to context shock there for a second.
Sorry. I should have mentioned that.
The Is you say the river Is?
Where is the river's armor? Did she take it off and leave it inside?
I assume she left it inside because she couldn't carry that plus Bolo plus. So
this is actually a genuine question I had, and I didn't want to belabor things too much. I was actually wondering if this armor would fit on top of it.
No.
Okay.
Definitely
because the
not.
thing is, what she's wearing is the so-called feathered corselet,
Right.
that is from Radagast and stuff. So I think it's supposed to be like a jerkin, right?
Yeah, but this is if you to wield this effect, or to wield it, to wear it effectively. This cannot. You can have your cloak over it, but you can't have this over other armor.
Okay.
Partially because remember it's slightly smaller. I mean, it fits you perfectly, but it like fits you perfectly in part because it was designed for a prince and whatever. So it fits. Yeah.
My rationale was actually like, would her wearing her close-fitting armor help it fit because it wasn't designed for her? But if like, I'm not trying to stack mechanics.
No, I get it. I know you're not. But no,
like,
this requires you to have. You had your regular clothes on before putting the armor on. So
okay.
And you didn't just like throw the others in a chasm. I assumed you just like left it at the entrance or something.
I was actually hoping Domi would bring, because it is very special armor to her.
Oh yeah,
like,
of
she
course.
is way more invested in her Radagast armor than she is in the Kyrian.
Of course,
armor.
Domi has stayed down below for the moment. Because Domi is well, no, it's okay, Tren. He's not going to stay down there the whole time. Tren has this growing thing with me where a bunch of NPCs we meet end up like he said, he feels like the characters feel like they sit out the battle when they're always dealing with something else. To be clear, it's not like they're just sitting there. But anyway.
Is he staying there with the other two dwarves, or did the others come out?
One of them left originally and is ready, like has an axe and is like whatever. The other one was inside with Domi. So Domi may emerge in a moment, as far as you know. You don't know River, but
Are there 4 of them?
There were 3 plus Domi.
Right.
So I guess there's 2 down below because one of the dwarves was in the chamber and came out, and then Domi is not there yet, but may come out soon, and the other 2 are down below. So yeah.
Okay, cool.
And remember, they are very like exhausted and like they're not in very good fighting shape. But yeah.
I just want to know where the people are. So
Mithril is canonically under armor. Yes, Drift, that's true.
Wait,
Are
what?
we out at this point?
You are out of the yes, you Bolo are in the arms of the river. In the arms of the river. Right above the tomb. So yes. So that's what you see, River.
Okay, cool. I'm imagining River is also still wearing her cloak, which is also special.
Yes.
On top of the
That
armor.
you can wear, yes.
Right. So she's going to she's just holding her axes and standing very grimly, ready to fight, and specifically, like, she's standing in such a way as to, like, protect Bolo, because he doesn't seem like he and Stone do not seem like they are up for fighting.
Okay.
And does that? I don't know if this means that I have to hold action until, like, maybe she's gonna wait until they come in range, obviously, and then attack.
Okay. Now, and so you know, the likelihood is that they're not going to get within. Well. Yeah, so within melee range for you. So they won't, they're not, it's unlikely they're going to get within melee range this round.
So what she's actually going to do then, because I believe I still have these, is, sorry, let me just double check. Okay, I have 1 Warden's Gift die left. Yeah. Great. Yes. So she's gonna come out and be. She looks very grim, and she has her weapons ready, and she's going to raise her axes and clang them together and begin singing songs of slaying, like she did before.
Makes sense.
Except there is a sharper, keener, brighter edge to it now. Maybe partly because of the armor, maybe because her player realized last time that she had been totally underpowering this. Either way, the result is that all her allies within, 30 feet, receive an additional D8 on their next attack roll, not a D4, as I have been playing it for way too freaking long when it should have been a D8. Anyway.
D8. Very nice. Keeping in mind, by the way, that those who are currently miserable are dealing with disadvantage on attack roll, but it would be disadvantage plus 8. So whatever the lower roll is, plus 8 is what you would get.
Plus your rolling.
Oh yeah. I mean, plus whatever. Like, yeah, but I'm just saying, yeah. Okay, good stuff. Now, Stone, I'm going to say, is not going to be able to function yet, River. It looks like Stone might be together enough to maybe be able to function next turn. But Stone is, for a turn anyway, is still kind of like coming to. And now these creatures get their attacks. And again, they dive in with this sort of silent... Oh, why is that not... Hold on a
Well,
second.
the
I have
turn
to
order is
update
gone for me.
Yeah,
the
for me
map.
too.
Give me a second.
That's not good.
Oh, I know why. Because I brought you... Because I didn't bring you back over. Give me a second. Oh, no, I did bring you over here. I don't know why the turn order is not there. It should be there.
I mean, the
Little
window's
windows
there.
there.
It's just blank.
Yeah.
Mm.
Really?
We have to roll again anyway.
No, we already did it. You
okay.
did not. I didn't know how long you were going to be, so we didn't. Tren rolled for you, but you had a...
It was 23, 17, 15, 15.
Yeah, let me try... Can you all try reloading maybe or something? Just to see? Because I reloading the roll 20, because...
And by reloading.
Opening, planar transport, randomizing dice rolls, determining scale, something. Nope, it's still blank.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
Still-
All right. Well, I will try to bring it back now. You did anything?
Saw it
The window?
disappear. Came back.
Still
And
Still blank. All right, so just remember what you had. River is 23, Bolo is 17, Tani is 15, Inga is 15. I'm just going to clear them all out, and we'll add them again.
And Stone goes on my turn when he's able to.
Right, that's right. Okay, so can you now see that, Tani?
I see that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
23.
Except that should be my number, but yeah.
Oh, crap.
Sorry.
What was it?
Mine's
You had a
15.
You had a 15?
15
Okay.
for me.
Sorry, that's right. Yeah, it's River who has the 23. I knew that. Okay. And then we've got Inga with a 15 as well. That's wrong, not that one. Okay, and Bolo had got as a 17, I think.
17.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Right. Okay. Everyone now see what they should see. They should see. Yes. Okay.
Think so?
All right. Then we move on to the bad guys. So the ones are circling around, as I said, and then coming faster and faster. And suddenly, I mentioned that they tuck their wings behind them as he calls out to them, and suddenly they dive in your direction. And let's see, they are... Yeah, they're not going to get there this turn. They will be there next turn. You can now see for certain that there is indeed a goblin, and it does look like Furball on the back of one of them that is coming towards you. The dwarves, just to avoid confusion, I'm going to move two of the dwarves off of here. So we've got the one dwarf who's up here with all of you. We're going to put Clifford and Lillimon over there. Lillimon is... One of the things you notice, by the way, Inga, is that Lillimon is just sort of like... Normally you would expect Lillimon to be, backing up, like sort of like going over to safety, that type of thing. But Lillimon is just sort of like dully lifts his head and is kind of looking up at the birds as if sort of like not even really acknowledging that they're there or something. So I'm going to put them over there, and that leaves these ones up here. Okay, so good. They are now, they're all prepared. I'm going to move the dwarves back into the turn order. Okay, right. Okay, good. All right, lovely. So the creatures will be upon you momentarily. Okay, Bolo, you are in the same position as Stone, so I'm going to say that you are incapacitated only for this turn, but next turn in your order you'll be able to function again. Right now you're just on the ground, and as you look up, you can see that the River is wearing the suit of armor that you saw inside the mausoleum. And the cloak is over it. Her cloak is over it, but the armor gleams in the dull gray light of the waste as the birds come flying in.
Okay.
And that's going to lead us to the dwarves. The dwarves sort of wearily, and by the dwarves I mean the one dwarf that's there. Domi does now emerge and comes out, and he has one of the axes that was given to him. I think one of the sort of rough axes that you had found, and is prepared. Although they sort of look weary, they certainly don't have anything ranged, and so he and his companion dwarf are there. And that's going to lead us on to Inga, who's up next.
How far away are the birds?
They are probably about, I would say, 80. No, maybe about 60 feet, 60, 65 feet, something like that.
Will they get in range to attack for my next turn?
Next turn they will, yes. Before it, yes, because they go before you. Yeah, they would. They would arrive before next turn, assuming they attack you. But it looks like there's plenty to go around, so probably one of them is going to attack you.
And how? Like, where's Lilleman right now?
Lilleman is probably about 30 or 35 feet away near Cliff, who's sort of got his hand on Lilleman's mane, and they're just sort of dully looking up at the sky. At the birds, specifically.
Yeah, I guess like Inga would like look up to the birds and look back to Lilleman and Clifford.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, "Get out of here, you idiots!"
I mean, they could take
like,
shelter in the mausoleum. That would probably make the most sense to defend against a flying enemy.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I guess like Inga would like take a step to the side and like waves them in there, basically.
They slowly start to move in the direction of the mausoleum. Other than that, you're just waiting. Are you readying? You're readying an attack, like
So,
if they come close, or?
Is then So like they do seem like something is off, right?
Yeah.
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 Okay. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I would like ready an action to.
Could you not ready to like shoot like once they're in range before they attack?
Yeah, I mean, you could shoot them now if you just drop your weapon and shoot at them. But if you're going to be ready with your axe and like fully ready for melee combat, then you would need to hold the action.
No, I do want to do melee because
that's what
if
I figured,
attack the goblin, then I don't get a disadvantage.
Huh.
Yeah, I guess I'm holding my action to hit the goblin if he gets in reach.
Quite possible. That's fine, Inga. Be aware that it's not necessarily that he may not attack you. You know that, right? Like he may attack one of the others. Okay, I'm just letting you know.
Well, I guess then I'm gonna rephrase like ready my action to attack
whatever it is that's
whatever gets close enough to be hit.
Gotcha.
Basically.
Sounds like a plan.
And I'm assuming these birds don't sound as count as goblin kind. So,
no, they do not.
Sad.
They do not, sadly. Okay, that's going to lead us to Tawny.
Maybe we can get a little goblin mask and put it on their face.
Like you just shoot it on the arrow so that it like hits their face, and
Right.
like now it's goblin kind. Like, why would you shoot a goblin mask? Like, well,
I don't really have any range stuff at all, so I'm gonna be focused mostly on trying to get Clifford and Lilleman inside.
Okay. Yeah, with your assistance, that allows them to move on a little faster, and basically by the time you get to the end of your turn, they are closing in on, they're just about to the top of the stairs. You think you might be able to get them down and into the mausoleum next turn, Tawny, if you continue in this way. And of course, the doors...
Just holding my staff crossways and just in both their butts, just go,
it's just
go,
like, go. Yeah. And it does, again, they do feel like almost like walking through molasses, like very slow. All right, that brings us to the top of the round. River, you are up, and these creatures will be upon you this turn. So they're still not quite there, but you could, if you want, like hold an action or whatever and like do whichever. Stone is now, as soon as Stone goes, he will now be able to function. He's still miserable, but he will not be incapacitated.
Okay. I think River is going to say so I'm imagining River is positioned kind of at the mouth of the mausoleum.
Yes,
like she wants to.
That's what I imagined. Well, above this, because the stairs, remember, lead a little bit out of it, like out of the mausoleum. Yeah. So you're at the top of the stairs, is what I imagined it as, basically. Yeah.
Exactly. So essentially, what she wants to kind of communicate before the birds are on them, she's going to say to Bolo and to Stone. She's gonna say to Bolo. Stone hears, obviously. Just duck in whenever you need to. Just stay hidden. Stay behind me. All right. We don't know what they're capable of yet. And Bolo, if you feel able to use that sling, I think you'll be able to use it better from the darkness than in a place where they can reach you or see you. After she says that, I'm just looking over the things. This would be a great time, BT Dubs chat, if anyone wants to inspire anyone who is going to be attacking. Now would be a great time.
How could we possibly know who has inspirations available to give out?
What a good question. How would we do that?
Well, let's just take a look. Let's just say that we accidentally did something like this and revealed who we've got in here. Let's see. Do we have anyone? Live Suing is here for sure. I don't know if Nonstop's hanging out or if Shadowed Mage is here. I inspire the armor. Now, I will say that
I should be able to use inspiration as well.
Yeah, I don't know what
Not on
happened.
yourself.
No, but she's talking about for other people.
For the list, yeah.
I already used both mine.
Yeah, I was gonna say most of this has been used. Maybe I missed. I must have missed yours, Mel. Did you? No, because it was last month. It was
last month.
It
yeah.
was.
She inspired. Well, no, in the last game, she inspired me because I still have it.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people can inspire twice if they have a higher, if they supported a higher tier Big Boss. It might have been that I missed, that I might have missed you when I was resetting the inspirations. A lot of them have been used this month because there have been some hairy things going on in various campaigns. But, so, yeah, so let's say that you have one and you can use one.
I have two. I should have two and I should use two.
Take that up with the other campaigns. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then you can use two. So, who would you like to inspire then? Since you know, heal thyself, inspire thyself.
Well, right, exactly. So Tawny already has inspiration. Inga potentially already has. Well, it depends on whether the goblin attacks or not, but we'll see. So I think I'm gonna inspire Bolo.
Okay.
Especially because he's the one that River actually talked to.
Yeah, it fits.
So, yeah.
Bolo has been inspired. And Stone, now Stone, you're just going to have wait until until they get close enough for Stone to attack?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Stone now is standing by your side.
Yeah, we're both holding action, and River is going to put her, is going to, well, I mean, she's holding axes in both hands, but she's going to lean against Stone in comfort, essentially.
Okay.
To kind of let him know that she's there.
You
like
feel
big dogs do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You feel the comforting warmth and weight of Bolo too. No, of Stone's head just leaning against you. Yeah, they both lean against. You're like, this is great, guys. I need to actually move though, so if you could.
Yeah. That's great.
Okay. So now they arrive and the creatures now move in. So let's see. We're gonna start this off with. We'll have the one actually that comes towards Inga. Sadly, Inga, the one that comes towards you is not one with the goblin. I'm going to explain which one Furbal's attacking in a minute. But it does come within range of you now. So since you were readying your action, you can swing away at this thing, and then it's going to attack you.
I shall try.
Swing away like Joaquin Phoenix.
So disadvantage.
Disadvantage, yes. Yeesh.
Yeah, no.
With the 3.
Wait, do I get a second attack with a ready action?
You do.
Yeah, so the attack, I believe your attack action lets you attack twice, right? So that means that you would get a second because it would be an action of attacking.
Yeah, no.
Good question though. What did you actually? The only reason I'm asking is just remember that you have runes of victory. And so you are supposed to crit on 1, 19, and 20, I think.
Right.
So
sadly, this is the worst possible option because it was a 2 and a 3.
Damn it. Okay. So I just wanted to say though, like because what we had said before was that in a situation of disadvantage, if you crit on a 1, that becomes the best option and you have to take the next one, right? Like you can't take the, so
That's
just
correct.
wanted to, yeah.
That's correct. Yeah, that's important to note. That's not just the lowest one, it's the least advantageous one. Okay. So, in any case,
the most disadvantageous one.
Basically.
Yeah.
So, this one now, so having missed it, so you swing at it.
Remember, no. Remember, you have a D8 that you can roll to add to at least one of those.
That's not gonna be enough.
It's not gonna matter.
Either way.
Okay.
Like
Okay, then hang
the
on to it.
highest I can get is an 11. So
Which will not hit.
yeah,
I will let you know at the moment.
figured it wouldn't. So
Yeah. Because you can
But if
do.
you
Oh,
like
actually, and I guess you.
fighting level 1 bandits anymore.
And I guess you do have to use it though, right? Because it is on your next attack, right?
This is what I'm
that's for.
saying. Is
Yeah.
you have a D8. There's always the possibility that you could roll an 8 and therefore have a 19.
No. It's disadvantaged, Amal. She's
Oh,
got
sorry,
it.
that was.
So it doesn't matter.
Oh.
Like I
either
rolled
way.
a 3 and a 2.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
shit.
not gonna
Okay,
matter.
sorry. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
But still, and it's been used up because you can't hold on to it. So you can roll the D8 if you want, just for fun.
No, wait. I think.
otherwise-
Wait, wait, just a second. You can use it for your attack or for damage. So I think that you. Let me look at this again. I think you can hold on to it until you actually roll damage.
Yeah, confirm though, because if it's the next attack, then
Which is what I remember hearing.
yeah, I thought you said next attack.
Let me see. Let me do this. Songs of Slaying. Expend to give all of your an additional D8 on their next attack roll. Alternatively, any creature that has one of your Warden's gift dice may roll the die and add the number rolled to a weapon damage roll that they just made.
Yeah, that they just
May.
made, but that's
So the
either way
may
though.
part is
You can't hold on to it
I.
because it's next attack. If the next attack roll means they have to make it. Now they could, if they had hit normally, then tried to use their damage, but it's not something
Okay.
they could hold on to. Because think about it. Otherwise, they could hold on to it and then next turn be like, okay, so I'm going to try doing it as an attack again. So they can't bank it in a
Okay.
particular way.
All right, that's fair.
So speaking of banking, this thing banks directly into Inga, and is going to attack first with its talons, and is going to try to hit. Yes, I should specify. Let's see. We were looking at a 15. That's probably not going to do it, right? Okay, and then is going to attack with its beak, and that is going to be an 18.
Yeah, that does.
Is that a hit? Okay, that is going to do. That is going to be 10 points of piercing damage that is done to you. Inga, I had you at 47 out of 66, by the way.
No, I'm at full hit points.
yeah, Tawny healed us all.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
So I'm at.
So 56 then.
56.
Okay. Cool. All right. So that one hits in the way,
oops.
and then the minute it does this, so it dives down and hits you, and then, and I'm even going to give you what this is called. It uses an ability called Fell Speed, and what that means is it can, as a bonus action, disengage and fly off, which is exactly what it does.
Wait
Fell
a second.
Speed.
So like I have like this ability that lets me oh god. That when Oh no, never mind, that doesn't work.
When
because it
attacked
only
by a
starts
buzzard or a
when-
vulture.
No. I was like thinking I could like use my special ability to like move back into range. But no, it like that only works when it ends its turn, so that doesn't apply. So
Yeah.
never mind.
So it veers off. Again, totally silently. The only thing you noticed when you were close by to this creature, Inga, it didn't make any sound, but you did hear the sound of scraping. And as you looked and were hit by its beak, you noticed that its feathers seemed to be scraping against each other. And the feathers, you almost thought you might have seen a little spark from between the feathers, as if the feathers themselves are metallic or iron in some way. Now, this is definitely a living beast. It is not a clockwork anything, but
Wait,
the
but
feathers...
they still make no sounds?
The creature does not call out or cry. The only
Yeah.
sound that you hear from it is just the scraping of these feathers, and it's only when it was right next to you that you heard it.
Has Inga ever heard of any creatures
Not
like this?
not ever. No.
Not ever.
I mean, you've definitely heard of silent creatures attacking, but not like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Owls are silent predators when they attack, but yeah.
True. Yeah.
But
This
this is an iron vulture, so of course it is Don Carnage.
In Europe, owls are actually giraffes, and blah blah blah. All right. So anyway, so there's that one. Okay. Now the second one is going to come towards Tawny as you're trying to push these, like pushing them, like come on, and it goes flying towards you. Now you are at least able to see this happening, so you can kind of try to defend yourself, Tawny. But obviously you're not going to get a hit in or anything. But it is going to try to attack you. And as it dives in. It first tries to attack with its talons, as was the case with Inga. That is going to be an 18.
It's,
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, it is. No, it is an 18. And this is going to do 7 slashing damage. So it's going to do 7 slashing damage to you, which means you're at 45. There's a bigger problem, though, Tani, which is that as it does this, it seizes your arm in its talons.
No!
So it attacks with you. So you are, at the moment, grappled by this thing. And it then tries to peck into your back. However, I think it's going to miss terribly. That's an 11.
yes, that misses.
Pick.
Okay. Right, good. Okay, good, lovely. All right, that's going to bring us to the third one is
I
going
wish
to
Tiny
come
could
down.
actually transform into a bear. So like at this moment he could go. "Rah!"
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, that was Inga, that was Tani's. I'm waiting on Rivers. We'll talk about Rivers in a minute. Let's see. We've got one that's going to come towards Domi and is going to attempt to attack. And is going to hit once. So you hear a little bit of a
Isn't Domi still
grunt
down in the?
of Domi. Nope,
Yeah.
Domi came out. I mentioned that Domi came out
Okay.
right at the beginning of last turn. So there's 2 out there, Domi and the other dwarf.
Okay, no problem.
And the other dwarf and Domi are sort of on this one, apparently. Each time that it does this, though, that these things attack, they then do this thing that I just mentioned where they disengage and fly off. Now, they don't fly off like 60 feet, but they do fly off where they're slightly out of melee range. Yes, you can step forward and engage them, but they're clearly trying not to just sit there and like waddle around and swing at you. They're trying to stay airborne. And Bolo, the fourth one, is going to come down towards you.
Bolo
and
is sort
going
of
to
tucked
attempt to
behind
attack you.
River, right?
Well, yeah.
That's
I mean,
what she told him.
yeah,
did
she
tell
told
him.
him to sneak behind them. I don't know that Bolo's had a chance to move yet, though, right? I mean, Bolo.
But like she deliberately positioned herself in front of him.
Okay.
Like the whole idea is that she's protecting him.
All right. Well, then I will not have that one do it. I will have the one with Furball on it. Because the reason I was saving on this is because Furball and the goblin that it's riding is coming directly and clearly for you, River, like on
Okay.
purpose. So when
Right.
it gets within range, both you and Stone will be able to rise up and attack it in melee range. So you can both get your attacks off on this thing.
Okay. Cool. So can we do that now, or
Yes,
is that
you do that now
okay,
because it's before they get their attack in.
Okay. So yeah, was there by any chance inspiration in the chat happening?
I don't think
Before-
actually. I think people here have mostly used theirs up. The only one
Oh,
might
no.
be. I don't think Dragon Spear is here. Live suing's here though. I guess live suing.
Wing.
Live
No
suing is
pressure.
available. No pressure, live
pressure.
suing, but you're being called out directly. So,
No,
so the
no.
river calls out in the sky. Live suing, help! And everyone's like, all the Tolkien people are like, live suing.
Oh,
What is that?
boy.
I need fox favors.
That's true. There might be a channel point redeemable one too, Ridnell. Live suing is inspired, River. See, from above you hear, yes, I shall give you inspiration. And you are
That's such a
given
good
inspiration.
voice.
You sh-
Live
you are-
suing
you are
has a
given inspiration.
fantastically echoey, benevolent deity kind of voice.
Live suing is
okay.
a good person.
Very.
Okay, River is going to go in with her first attack of 2.
Okay.
And I think that she is going to direct this one at Furball if he's within reach. So,
Okay.
because he was already damaged, he was definitely hurt
Oh yeah.
a lot. So,
Yeah, and he does look like that. It doesn't look. Yeah, he. Sure.
so attack.
Ooh.
Yes, no, that's good.
Oh wait. Wait. Though your
I-
your problem though. You're miserable, right?
No, but as I have inspiration,
Oh right. So it counters it. Yes,
so
that's
it
true.
counters it.
Now, it
and
only
I
counters it
also
for-
crit.
Right. Now it
I-
only counters it for the first attack. Be aware. So that
Yeah.
first attack, which is the
No, no,
crit,
but
so that's
my-
great. So that's all good.
Yes, but my first attack is with 2 axes. Like I go twice.
Okay.
So that is the. So there is a crit in the first one and a 21 on the second one.
Yeah, both of which will hit. Furball without any question.
Okay, so max damage on the hand axe. I can't remember what it. Sorry, I'm trying to get the the thing, my ball.
Just click on the
I'll just
thing.
click on
It'll
it,
roll the, yeah.
So there. So it's 6 plus 6, I guess. So it's 12 for the first one.
Okay.
And I'll take that 8 for the second one.
Okay.
20.
So total. Okay. Right. So you strike it. Now, you do obviously a great deal of damage to Furball. Furball was already hurt, but as you hit this thing, and you hit him, and he sort of falls backwards, like just barely holding on to the feathers. You note something odd, which is that his he has this wild, almost possessed look in his eyes, might be the way to describe it. And although your blow should have obliterated him, it does not do so. It does hurt him clearly, but he was already hurt, as you already pointed out, so he should clearly be dead, and is not. It is as if he has been infused with some kind of shadowy energy. Now, that does not mean that he is immune or invulnerable, but it does mean that something has made it possible for him to at least partially resist your blow.
Oh my god, I hate this so much.
It sucked a lot for him, though, let me specify. You hurt him a lot.
Oh no, god, no. Okay.
And Stone gets his attack, remember? So you get...
Yeah, no, but so I get 2 attacks on my turn as of...
No. But you get... I know that, but you get 1 attack. You were holding your attack action, right? So your action is... Because didn't you just do the 2 axe attacks as the 1 action? In other words, you're not... So you're holding your attack, which was that. But I think we did... When we did this last time, I don't think we said that you get to attack twice on a held action, I believe. Although maybe I'm misremembering.
I've never held an action before.
Okay. Well, we've never been through this.
Yeah. What I am not able to do is divide my axe attacks. So if I say I'm attacking this person, but since
all right, so you can get a second attack in on him.
No, but like.
But that's. I will say the second attack you're doing though is going to be at disadvantage again.
Yeah, no, that's what I was expecting.
Yeah,
that's what I was expecting.
Yeah.
But I do want the second attack to be at the bird. So like.
Oh sure, you can do that. Yep,
right.
You can do that. That's fine.
So right. So that's the. I'm just trying to think this through because essentially I think that River is going to see that her extremely devastating attack has not obliterated Furball, is going to say, oh god, not oh god, but like, oh no.
Yes.
And kind of realize that there's something extremely fell at work here.
Yeah, big time.
And is going to... God. I keep wanting to make her do things that are very cool looking, but that are terrible ideas. So, I'm wondering if there's a chance that she can, after she has attacked and seen this happen, if she can actually try and clamber atop the vulture.
No, I don't think there's any way to do that.
No.
The hell, especially with the way that it's moving. No, you can get another attack on the bird, but
right, there's no reins on their beaks or anything. It's like Furball is clutching the
feathers
the
of it. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's fine then. Okay, she's gonna attack the bird in intense frustration.
Damn it,
so...
bird. Okay.
Okay, so this one is at disadvantage. She's going in with axes. Thunk. Thunk.
Well.
Okay. Well, the first
one
one
all right.
is a. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well.
Still, I know it's not a crit, but it is a hit. The first one,
is a
and
hit.
The second one does not. But the 22 will hit, so you can roll damage.
It'll be 12.
Okay, and that one did seem to this does not seem to be infused with the same energy. That it doesn't make a call as you hit it. And I do want to point out that when you hit it again, the feeling in your axe is not as if you have hit. It does feel as if you've hit flesh, but it's very tough and and as your axe hits the wing, you see a spark coming off of your axe as it impacts the whatever these weird feathers are that this creature possesses. But you did hit it for sure, and fully. So this was all, of course, the held action on their turn. So now they get to go because it wasn't an attack on them that they were doing.
But Stone gets to
Stone gets to attack. That's right. Sorry. I
also
forgot
at
it's
disadvantage.
65
I know
held
this
actions.
is a lot of attacks, but like
That's all right. I just want to pick it up a little bit though
cannons-
because we're ending in about 15 minutes, so I want to make sure we get through some stuff. So go ahead and have Stone attack and High Coven. Hello.
Alas, well, it's a 13.
13, unfortunately, is not quite enough. It's not going to hit.
Okay.
So he snaps, his jaws, unfortunately, snap on air. So now, seeing no other held actions that are prepared, now the creatures are going to get a chance. So the one that Furball is on is going to attack you again. First River with with the talons that it's been doing.
So this is probably where I need to know if there is a armor class bonus.
Right. So the creature, I can't tell you that yet because it just critically missed. So it just swung wildly over you. But something terrible then happens, which is as if there wasn't more that need to be terrible. It opens its mouth, and shooting out of its mouth, it is as if it vomits something upon you, this stream of poison. And so I need you and Stone and Bolo all to make dexterity saving throws for me, please.
Okay. And these are not.
But you can't have the poison attack against the one person who has resistance, right? Right.
Sorry.
So to be clear, saving throws do not count as disadvantaged, right?
That's correct because they're not. Yeah, that's right.
They're not combat.
That's right. It's just attack. Yeah. So those are just.
Because that would really.
That would really suck. So dexterity saving throw.
Nice.
Less
Not so
nice.
nice. Well,
Although, never mind. Well, that sucks. Never mind.
Okay, so it looks like we're looking at. So River has got a 9.
Yeah, and Stone doesn't have saving throws per se. So is it just a?
In that case, you could just make a straight dex check. Yeah. Ooh, wow! Stone parkours over it. Okay. And Bolo
natural
also
20 and a natural 1.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So the person who does not make the save is going to take 18 points of poison damage here, River, as you are struck by this foul stuff. So you were 60 out of 60, right?
Yep.
And so now you were at 42 out of 60, I believe. I said 18,
Okay.
right?
I
And
said 16. Or did I mishear that? But okay.
I thought he said 2.
I guess I did say 16, yeah. So 44 out of 60. And then Bolo and Stone are going to take half of that. So they're going to take 8 points each. So that puts, I think, Bolo at 38, if I'm correct, Bolo, out of 46. Is that right?
Yes, although I think I'll use my half damage thingy
Yeah,
as
uncanny
long as I can
dodge
see the attack coming.
Okay. Yep, you can definitely see it coming.
I'll do that.
All right, so then just 42 out of 46. Stone is going to take 8, and so we'll have 24 out of 32, I believe, is where we're at for that. As this foul stuff happens, and it's actually not poisonous, it's acidic. It's basically the contents of this thing's acidic stomach that do this. Yeah, it's charming.
Aw,
really
it
lovely
thinks you
stuff.
were its babies.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I'm just imagining, is this literally the stuff that comes through the links of armor, or is it 16 damage directly to her face?
Yeah, it's I would say it's probably more like her face because it doesn't affect the armor that much, honestly. But
Right.
it's not.
Okay,
it's
cool.
It's legitimately vomit. Yeah, pretty much. It pretty much is legitimately vomit. So there's that. And then the last creature of the 5. So again, and I should point out that Furballs, and they do that fell speed thing where they then disengage and move away from you, River, so they don't provoke attacks because of this thing that they have. And now this last one is going to come in. It's going to basically attack River, which is in the way of Bolo. Normally it would be attacking Bolo, but it is going to deal with River here instead. So it is going to attack again with talons. And that's a 21. which I think.
Yeah.
is a
So
hit.
how about that armor? How about that armor bonus?
Right. Yes. Now we get to talk about the armor. So, yes, we get to talk about the armor. So your normal AC leading up to this was what, River?
14.
14. That's what I thought. So this thing shimmers and sort of slides around your body, and the effective AC that you have with this is 18. It does not, however, impede you at all. As I said, it's like it almost seems made for you as the armor flows around your body as you move in your practiced way. So it is an 18. However, I still think a 21 is going to hit.
Yeah, 21. That makes sense. Yeah.
So it is going to do with its talons.
Wait, your armor class is
let's see.
18?
Just
is now,
because of this thing that
because of
she's
this.
wearing. You know, it's because of this
Yeah,
awesome dwarven
special
armor. You
magic
know what I'm saying?
armor.
You know what I'm saying?
And I still have the same armor class as you.
Yeah, maybe if you put on this armor, it would be even more
Would fit
intense.
her.
Okay.
Yeah,
Would be
exactly.
a bit tight around the hips.
Yes, yes.
No, tight around the chest. Is that what Ghibli said? I'm not sure. What
Okay,
did he say?
that's going to do 7 slashing damage to you,
Across the chest.
River.
Across
Cool.
the chest.
Great. Awesome.
And then it's going to try to attack you with its beak. Actually, and I forgot that it hit with its talons, meaning because it hit with its talons,
It's
it
grappling.
has now grappled you. Yes, so it has seized you. And the other thing that you feel about it is this unnatural fell strength as it pulls back on you, River. Like it almost feels like it's trying to yank your arms out of their sockets as it grabs on and is pulling at you. And again, it opens its mouth. It's not going to shoot vomit at you this time, but it keeps opening its mouth, but there is no sound being made by it. All you hear is just the slight sound of scraping of feather on feather. And then it is going to try to peck you with its beak, which it's clearly going to do with a 25.
God!
Yeah, these things are strong. And it is going to do an additional 7 points of damage. So where are we at now? I think that has you at 30.
That's a 30.
Okay. No other thing beyond that. All right, that's their turn. They will go much faster next time now that we know what we're doing. And Bolo, you are now up. Interestingly, Bolo, now that you are up and above ground, I should say you were incapacitated, but now that you're up and above ground and you have had this stuff, that you actually are not currently miserable in the ways that the others are. But you've also got 5 deadly creatures, and yeah, it's bad.
That's
So,
pretty miserable.
Yeah.
In and of itself. I'm going to take the bag of sand I've kept for a very special occasion and throw it into their wings, and in about 30 minutes they're going to grind themselves to dust.
That's funny. Okay. That's
but in reality,
interesting.
So Furball is near.
Pretty near. I mean, has veered off with the
It did
vulture,
that
but
Fell
Yeah.
speeding and okay.
you
River
could
is
run
going
up and
to-
catch it, so if you wished.
River is going to say as well, somewhere in between having hit Furball and getting grappled by the bird, is going to say, hit the birds. There's not him. He's something strange is going on with him.
Okay.
Is the one that Furball is on hurt? The
Yes.
vulture?
Yes, it has been hurt. It has been hit. Yes, and hurt.
Yeah, my initial thought before they started swooping in was to try to scare it in some way. From what I've seen, they seem very well trained for this. They're
Yeah.
warbirds essentially,
they are.
right? Yeah, all right.
Almost as
Okay.
if in mockery of the great eagles that I've heard
Oh,
stories
right.
of.
Okay. And then are we in that bowl, that depression where the entrance was?
Yep.
And-
Yes-ish. Although you are in the depression, but you're above the stairs, so you're not, because
Yeah.
there's stairs that lead down to the door, so
Yeah.
you're above those stairs.
And as I recall, there wasn't much around here to hide in.
Not a lot. There is the mausoleum.
That's what River was saying before when she was talking to Bolo was specifically what I'm imagining, just to see if this is clear, is here's River, here's Bolo, here's the entrance to the mausoleum, And what she was trying to say was like, if you need to duck into there to hide, then you should do that. But she's like trying to protect you while you do that. If
Right.
You,
Yeah.
Just one thing though, which is to remember that it's not like the stairs. There's not like a huge flight of stairs, but it is a good 15, 20 feet down to the door of the mausoleum. So it's not quite as easy as just, jump down the stairs and duck in the mausoleum and then jump out again.
Oh, sorry. I was
so they're
imagining
not-
the stairs. I was imagining the entrance and the stairs going down. Like
No.
the-
The entrance is
Oh.
at the bottom of the stairs. The stairs, remember that you had to dig into the earth.
Right.
So, yeah.
Sorry, I was
That's okay.
totally not visualizing
problem.
it.
In any case, going near that place is the last thing on.
Yeah,
on
I was
Bolo's
gonna say.
Never mind. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna position myself sort of near the group. There's nowhere to really to hide behind and just
Hide behind River. She's like wearing a wall of armor.
Yeah. I also don't want to impede you, at the same time. I'm near. I'm just not like crouched behind you kind of thing. So yeah, I will take a sling shot at Furbal's vulture.
Furbal's bird. Okay.
You have inspiration and a D8 if you wish to use them.
Wow.
Yeah, I
May not even be
didn't
needed.
say the inspiration. I was going to use the inspiration if I could make like a called shot. I should ask that anyway. I won't do it on this one because I've already rolled. But can you do a called shot for like headshot type thing, or are there those types?
Yes, there's usually that's done either at disadvantage or a minus, and then you're aiming, especially if there's a particularly obviously vulnerable area. Now, probably the most vulnerable area of this thing is the head, I guess. And the head is kind of, long and lithe and constantly moving around, but that would probably be the place to do it if you wanted to. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I wasn't going to use it on this roll. I wanted to save it for damage because I had such a high plus.
Yeah.
So I think I
have
hit.
to think of that
27.
sneak attack, actually. I don't know if you're...
That was my next question.
Yeah, I don't...
Whether or not.
I need to look at your mechanics for that because I don't think you're concealed officially, but I don't know whether you have a thing where it's like if you're just engaged with if an ally is engaged with the enemy.
I remember that language from last time.
Yeah.
Oops, how do I-
But if
Just
the
double
bird
check.
has done a flyby,
So here's the language I just pasted in. So if I have an advantage on the attack roll, which I chose not to use this time, I guess.
No, but you don't need advantage on the attack roll if another enemy of the target is within 5 feet of it. That enemy isn't incapacitated, and you don't have disadvantage on the attack roll. So I would say that those things probably are true, although, yeah, you know what? In your case, you're going to luck out because there's so much like traffic down here that will be the case.
Okay.
For one that was like, say, attacking the Domi and the Dwarves, that wouldn't be the case because of the fell speed thing that moves them out of the way. But in this case, I think you actually can... There is a target that, like an enemy of it, that's within 5 feet. So yes, I think this is
All right, so I am also going to use my extra D8 on this.
for the damage part, I assume. Makes sense. Nice.
Yes!
Wow, nice. Okay.
And
and
then last.
oh, critical sneak attack damage.
One. That's good.
Wah, wah.
Excellent. That's 25.
So
That's good.
25 points of damage. Okay.
I feel like this has, ransomed back the damage that, River could have done to the stupid bird if she hadn't been targeting the weirdly undead, maybe, Furball, but yeah.
So this thing, so you strike it a massive blow. I think you actually probably hit it like in the beak, and like there's a crack sound from the beak, and it sort of flaps wildly. It is not dead, but it's been quite hurt. I don't think it's right within you don't get the sense that it's going to fall over instantaneously, but it's been very hurt by your attack. That was quite a serious blow. So good stuff, Bolo. And now you're going to stay, I assume, where you are, positioned where you are?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's nowhere really to hide, so I'll just be ready.
The dwarves, Domi and his companion, set to against the vulture they're fighting. Oh, and both both slam into this thing.
Woohoo.
Let's see.
Steady, Tally. We're almost done.
Okay.
I want soup.
Yeah, no, I get it. Okay. So they do that, and that's going to lead us to Inga and then Tani. And I'm going to let the party know that given the time frame, I think we'll finish up with this combat round, and then in our next session we'll begin with the combat. I know we don't like to stop in the middle, but I think that makes the most sense here, and it'll lead to a fun opening session in December where you're taking out some freaking birds. Okay, Inga, you are up.
Yeah. How far away is Furball?
Probably, so the Furball one is over by river, probably about 15 feet. Now, the good news is that because the other one you were fighting, the one that attacked you, like veered off and did its fell speed thing, that goes both ways, right? So it means you could actually move over and engage the one that Furball's on without having to worry as much about attack of opportunity from this other one.
And I'm still on the top of the stairs, right?
You're next to this. You're not right on top. You're next to the stairs. You're like a few feet away from them because River is in front of the stairs. So everyone wanted to be in front of the stairs. River's in front of the stairs.
No,
You
like
were
Inga
standing.
just stepped out of the door.
I know. You remember this? It goes
It's not
door,
a door.
stairs,
I was imagining
and
it
then
as
out.
a door.
The stairs
yeah.
lead down to the door. So it goes door, stairs up, and then you're out in the sort of land above. So
I also
that's
had
why.
misunderstood it. I thought that it was door, stairs,
Nope.
further into the mausoleum, but it
Yeah,
wasn't.
because remember they dug down and found the stairs first that led down to the door.
Okay.
But you
I
can
would
get
like
to
to-
it easily,
In that
Inga.
case,
I'm also gonna
how
inspire
high
Inga.
up is...
Okay, Inga's inspired.
cool.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome, thank you. How high up is Furball right now?
Probably about just veered off. 10 feet, 8 feet, 10 feet, something like that. If you want to do it'll be hard to get to Furball. If you wanted to get to his bird, though, I could totally see you doing this is Sparta, or Brad Pitt, Troy attack with the double-handed, axe over your head. You could do that too.
Since I'm inspired now, Inga is gonna take a running start and try to tackle him off the bird.
Furball off the bird?
Yeah.
As much as I have enormous admiration for Inga, there is no way Inga's going to be able to leap above the bird enough to be able to get to it, even
Please
with
just
it being
kill the
tipping
bird.
above.
Kill the bird.
But I do love the idea, and I wish I could allow it, but that would not make sense.
I mean, if you kill the bird, Furball will probably topple off it.
Maybe Furball
I
will become the
wanted to
bird.
tackle him. That
It would be
so
great.
much cooler than just killing the bird.
I know.
Hip. Come
Well,
on,
you could
we're not
also,
cool.
I mean, you could shoot at it too. There's nothing in melee range at the moment. You
Yeah, but I get disadvantage on that.
I'm aware.
If I attack the goblin directly, I get
know,
a straight roll.
I know, you were right about that. I know.
Let me use my stupid feature that I never get to use. Because you don't throw a sort of goblin kind
That's true.
to kill, just like
There may be
people,
others.
like human peoples and stuff.
hmm
Yeah, fine. I try to kill the bird that the goblin is sitting on, I suppose.
All right, you stride
I'm
up.
Gonna,
You were inspired, which means counteracting
yes,
the
I'm
effect.
gonna use that. Yeah, basically, Inga's gonna run towards the bird, axe held up high, and tries to slice down at him.
All right,
This runs,
see how that all works.
Probably has to jump. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I love that in the week leading up to American Thanksgiving, we are all killing some turkey butchers. It's just
Thought of
really,
that. Oh
really
my god, I didn't
incredible.
even realize that.
Yes!
well, okay.
Highest of five!
Wait, no, I don't have.
Wait a
I
minute.
don't have advantage.
Wait
I
a
just
minute. You don't have
straight roll.
advantage. You don't have
No!
disadvantage, but you did just normally roll a 4.
God
Right.
damn it! Are you joking? No, wait.
Yeah. It's the way it works, right? Because the
hate
normal
this.
roll is to the left of the slash. So she would have, if she had rolled a 20 and a 4, and the 20 had been the roll that she had made, she would have gotten it. But she rolled a 4. So.
Anyway, I get 2 attacks. So.
Yes, attack again. Are you kidding
Are you
me?
kidding me?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
No, come on!
Unbelievable.
This is stupid! This is so dumb! But the whole...
And that's not even disadvantage. That's just the normal attack that happened. Man.
This.
This inspiration is supposed to give you... Ah!
The whips.
This so
Thing
much.
is, The stupidest thing is, if you had actually, like, critically failed, then you would have critically succeeded on account of the advantage.
Echo, she already had an inspiration. Thank you, but it wasn't that. The issue was that she was at disadvantage because of being miserable, and then inspiration counteracts that, but then she rolled 2 normal, in quotes, 4 and 7. So, yeah. Yeah.
This is some bullshit right
there. It is.
there.
I'm telling you.
That
is some bullshit. I
grade A.
completely agree.
No!
Totally agree. I could not agree more. You're right. 100% agree. You definitely create a lot of disruption. They're like, they don't cry out because they don't do that, but they just.
Should have just let me like do the whole tackling thing, because then I would have gotten a natural 20 on that one.
That's true. But then you would have had to lift in the air beyond belief. I'm sorry, Inga. Does not work out. You missed them. Although the good news is that you are over near the river now, so there's a whole clustered group of people.
You know what? Tari, what we should work on is actually a move where, like, Inga can run up to River, have River take her by the arms, swing her, and toss her.
It's like a
into the
fastball.
air.
God, tosses a dwarf, but no, it's a fastball special,
yeah.
right? Like it's
Exactly.
No, for sure.
Like do the thing where like one like does oh god, what is that called?
Yeah, when you grab
Like
someone
one
by
goes
the
on the
hand.
knee and like jumps on the back and jumps from the back thing.
Yeah, like does
that
or the dog with the frisbee, it jumps over like on the back to grab the frisbee. Anyway, Tani, you were up.
Oh, Stone as Airbud.
Exactly, Stone is Airbud.
So since the vulture thing has him grappled, that means it's right there.
It's right there.
But
yeah.
it's got a hold of one of his arms, so he can't use 2 arms to attack with his staff. So he's going to use 1. And
also, you could try to break free of it too. Don't forget, Tani.
Yeah, whatever. Roll to 7.
Okay.
So.
Wait, but Tani hasn't used his D8 yet.
I also haven't used my inspiration, which will disappear.
That is those are all good
seconds.
Points. These are
but
all
it's
good points.
then a 13.
But why would you not use it?
I mean, I just did.
Oh, you did.
So
it's a
13, and then are you adding the D8 or not?
Oh, I can, sure. I mean, again, it's if I don't.
You may
use
as
it,
well. It's the end of the month.
Yeah.
All right, D8. So I get an extra 2 points for a 15.
That's just enough. So you
Oh,
do
good.
hit it with your quarterstaff.
Mhm.
All right, let's see the damage.
6 points.
Okay. So yes, you hit the thing, and now I'm going to give you an opportunity. First of all, you do hit it. It does all the damage. It is not resistant or anything. And you are also able to, you are restrained, so you can try to escape from it, making a strength check, trying to escape from this thing's grasp. I mean, unless you just want to stay grappled. I mean, that's up to you.
I kind of do.
Oh, you
Like
can.
it.
I mean, it's up to you if you want.
Vulture bracelet.
Because
Bracer.
once Bolo realizes that this thing has a hold of me, then he can just come at it with like his with flanks.
Oh
here.
yeah, like
He
that's
gets
just sneak attack all day long.
immediately,
Yeah,
and he gets advantage because
I can leap on its back.
Yeah,
That's also true. I do want to point out, by the way, that the same strength you felt, Tani, that I described with the river, this sort of unnatural pull, the strength of this pull. But I do want to point out that there's this kind of funny moment where the river is, manages to keep from being drawn off, but is like pulling at you. But Tani, since you are considerably larger, this creature is still pulling at you, but you're like, your arms are moved, but it's not like your body is moving towards them in any way. So it's just like the grapple is not quite the same way. Nonetheless, it does restrain you, and so that's positive. So from its point of view. Okay, so you have done that. And that, folks, is going to bring us to the top of the round and to the end of this session. But when we begin next session, I do want to just set for us that we have a pretty badly hurt vulture underneath Furball. We have a apparently fairly hurt but not dead Furball himself. We have 2 injured vultures otherwise and 2 fresh vultures. And the battle continues over the waste as we end for today's session. Good stuff, though, from Chad, and I am very, very sorry that Inga's awesome, concept did not work. It's true. But I do, this is exactly part of what the narrative does, right? It is, this is a moment where you're dealing with the misery of you're literally dealing with misery, and you're dealing with the after effects of that cry. And probably now that the river has seen the unnatural fell quality of whatever Furball had, and Furball did not have that fell quality when you had him down on the ground before, there may be a connection between Screech and whatever is going on now with these vultures and Furbles. So it's all part of the mix, and it's all bad. And then there's the whole thing about the conflicted feelings about the river wearing the armor. Oh, it's so good. I'm so excited to see what happens next time.
Nothing good about this.
Nothing good about this.
All very bad.
Great story though. I'm going to start with Amal. Good stuff today, Amal. I love the idea that you thought a lot about it and then decided to put on the armor. Domi gave you the option, recognizing that there will in all likelihood be consequences to this. It is making it much easier for you. Not easy, but easier for you to stand up against this attack from these dread birds. But there are consequences to wearing this. Is it a dwarven or is it a human artifact? A man of Dale, people of Dale artifact. And so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, assuming you all survive the vulture attack.
Assuming we all survive the vulture.
How did you feel about today's session? Where will the folks find you next?
Wow, this is a very intense session. To have like almost a month off of playing and then enter into, I think, what is like the third round of combat, sort of, with no rest in between, because we had
last session was
war.
not combat, but yeah, you hadn't rested, so yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, but yeah, exactly. But we had exactly. So we had wargs.
Yeah.
We had the battle with the bandits, or like the war band rather, and now this, and like no actual proper rest in between, like getting healed, yes, but not replenishing one's gift dice, and stuff like that. So it's somatically a whole weird, interesting experience. I'm really excited about the potential of whatever is going to happen post putting on this armor, because like cannot stress enough how much she like did not want to but thought that it might help. So and
is not planning on holding on to it presumably for a long period of time.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And the other thing is just that she is in no, usually I think River would be able to like speak quite eloquently about why she would want to do this, and right now she's not in a position to do that. And she, like the kind of automatically failing charisma checks thing is like such an impairment to her specific character. So anyway, I'm very interested to see where this goes. I'm sorry I had to go a little bit earlier than usual today, so to curtail things. People can find me next on the internet, on Twitter, at Tithanai, usual places. You can sign up for my newsletter at amalilmahtab.com. And that's basically it for me.
Good stuff. Thank you, Amal. We will see you next month for more of this. I won't wish you a happy Thanksgiving because you folks already had it. So instead, I'll just say happy week. I will say instead, and we will see you back here next month. Moving right on up the line, I will say, Terry, I know that was definitely frustrating for Inga, but it also is sort of, I think it really reflects Inga's overall frustration of being like, I'm so tired of all of this nonsense. Like, all of this is garbage, and we're in fighting this, and because of the stupid armor and blah, 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 blah. So I am very excited to see how Inga manages all of that going forward, especially once this combat is over and the sort of conflicted feelings that we described before. It'll be interesting to see.
You say how she will manage that, assuming that she will manage that. That is
I have such faith in this party. I have no doubt the Antonauts will bring it with all due speed.
I have also faith in the party. I do not have faith in my die.
Yeah, that was, oh man, I couldn't believe that. Oh God. Anyway, how did you feel about today's session and the frustrating lack of the anti-crit with the double crit that would have been? Yeah. Anyway, how did you feel about today's session? The anti-crit. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next, Terry?
Frustration. I mean, like you said, it's like very on point, to be honest. But yeah, like, I'm sorry for being so tired today. So like, hopefully next time I will be a bit less exhausted. That's a way to phrase that, right?
Right.
Yeah. It's just method acting, Terry. You were just getting into the mood for how Inga feels. It's perfect.
Yes, absolutely. Like Inga is like. She's so done. Like, she's so done. She's like ready to pack her things and just leave at this point. But yeah, very much looking forward to the next session, which I'm wondering when that is going to be, because schedules are a thing. But yeah, great fun, as they say. Yeah, people can find me at Taritoots on Twitter and on Instagram. And also next month is gonna be the second installment of Heraldicember, which is an art challenge for heraldic artists and those who want to become heraldic artists, which if anybody wants to try their hand at that, please do participate, or at least just follow all the things and the hashtag Heraldicember tag. So yeah, that's me.
Good stuff. Thank you, Terry. And yes, Terry, hopefully we will see, depending on how things go, maybe we're hoping to do a game book illustration thing next month. We'll see how things go.
If that happens, it's got to be later.
Yeah, that's right. It'll be later in the month, I figured. And Terry will also eventually be bringing you new emotes as well that are follower Twitch emotes. So, but that again is just, down the line when things ease up. So,
yes.
But good stuff, Terry, and good luck with the house move and all that stuff. And moving right on over, I will head over to, I guess, Tren next. I'll finish with Brad again. Tren, good stuff as well. Tawny's sort of like being with Cliff and with Lillimon, and then just sort of this image of you just being like, pushing them to get back as these birds are circling in, and not being annoyed at them because like whatever, but just that was really interesting to me. And figuring out how to manage all of that is going to be interesting, because you're like, and then suddenly vultures, and that's how that all works. How'd you feel about today, Where Will the? And it's a good thing you did heal them all last session, or this would have gone worse.
Yeah.
How did you feel about today's session? Where will the lovely folks find you next?
I thought today's session was awesome. It was kind of scramble panic. But it was awesome as usual. And as we always say, the dice follow the narrative.
They do. Amazing.
Perfectly. As for where people will see me next, the first next, or I guess I could just say next, thing will be on I think it's Pseudopod podcast. Should be, I believe, this week.
Okay.
The narration that I did for the story Licking Roadkill should, I believe, go up I think Friday, unless they put it up the day before Thanksgiving, because that's when the story takes place, is the day before Thanksgiving. So they may publish it early, I don't know.
Okay.
But there'll be that, and then December 4th and 5th, that first weekend, we will be doing ModCon on just follow me on Twitter, or follow Beyond Skyrim on Twitter, and we will announce when it is and everything, and which YouTube channel to go to and whatnot, and Twitch channel, whatever, you can find it there. And beyond that, you will find me here.
Yes, on Saturday, actually, for
right.
Infinity and Beyond,
which is still this month.
Where they get to do an adventure, part of the Oracle of War, called Where the Dead Wait. So I'm sure that'll all be fine. I can't even,
I don't want to wear the dead weight. Yeah. I hate wearing dead weight.
Dead weight. Yeah. Good stuff, Trent. Always a pleasure. And last but certainly not least, again, Brad Bolo is now going to be moving and functional, and got in a good attack there, and is going to be, for next session, up and, not back to his chipper self, I would say, but we'll be back and moving again. Much more important it was just good to have you here in the session with us. So again, welcome back. And how'd you feel about today and being carried in the arms of the angel as the river brought you up with the armor? How'd you feel about today, and where will the fine folks find you next?
Yeah. Thank you. It's good to be back, of course, and looking forward to a lot more going forward. It was, and like I said before, it was fun to, slip back into the mindset of Bolo and this adventure. And it occurred to me, like, partway through, just how far we've come. I remember the first summons to Bard, to some scholar, a dwarven scholar has gone missing, and you sort of think about what that means, but what it really means was nothing like what I thought it was going to mean. We've gone to the ways,
and now vultures, right?
Yes, vultures, the weird half sort of dead Furball and who made him and that sort of thing. So it's just neat how it sort of evolves and unfolds and stuff. So we've come a long way just on this adventure. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how things finish up. People won't see me anywhere soon beyond online, so you can check out quillings.com. And I will say, I don't know when we'll meet next month, but by then this may be officially out. I've finally received.
Yeah, I've been looking at all the cover stuff you've been posting about this. Indeed.
Yeah, so this is the next book, December 7th, December 9th in the UK officially. Usually comes out like a week before. It's a roaring 20s American reimagined Chicago setting. And I'm just gonna like fawn over this a little bit. This the Head of Zeus cover for the UK is just gorgeous. I love this thing.
Yeah.
This is the special edition for Goldsboro books. I will just so you can get the full
But wait,
effect.
there's more.
Yeah, I know. So take a look at this too. The cover is just
that is
awesome.
Yeah.
I love this thing.
Oh,
It's easily the best made book I've ever had, in publishing and stuff so far. So it's just really cool to see this. So that's part of the Goldsboro has a science fiction and fantasy book club, and monthly people get new books. So that is the December book for Goldsboro. So that's coming out. So look for that in the UK and the US. And if you like that sort of book, pick it up.
Good
So
stuff.
thanks,
Thank you, Brad. And again, welcome back. And it's good to see you, and good to see all of these wonderful people. And I will wish actually both Trendane and Brad a happy Thanksgiving, because it is happy Thanksgiving for them. And for our non-American friends, I will simply say, as I said, happy week and good luck with everything. And you will take down these bastard birds next time. It'll be very appropriate. We'll get in some early practice, for the early Thanksgiving carvings early on.
There is gonna be Santa Claus in 2 weeks, so that's a thing.
So okay, so that okay, yeah. So then happy
Saint
that.
Nicholas Day.
Yeah. No, so
for,
happy
like,
that
okay.
then. For that's right.
Yes.
Yeah. So happy.
By the way,
holidays.
fun fact: Santa Claus, like the Dutch version of Saint Nick, is what the American Santa Claus is based on, among other things. So
Good stuff. So I'm going to allow the chat to say how much they love these players. Jack, can we get some love for the amazing players? And thank you, players, so much. Really love this campaign, and I will post stuff about the new schedule soon. I'm very excited for it. Thank you so much to Trendane Sparks, to Terry Tunes, to Amal Elmatar, and to Brad Bollier. Thanks, everybody. Good stuff, and we will see you folks soon. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So that, folks, is going to do it for us for here. And it was really great to see Brad back, and it's great to have everybody back doing this. And yeah, I am really enjoying the sort of all of the aspects of what's going to happen. Like, this whole campaign and this whole thing is just going to get wilder. Like, it just... There's some stuff getting that I'm geeking out about big time, that I'm extremely excited for, that's going to be happening after, assuming they do survive the vulture thing. I'm just like super, super pumped up about all of that. It's going to be great, and you'll have a chance to see more of it next month. But right now, what I want us to do very quickly, I do have to start getting ready for my Ghosts of Saltmarsh campaign at the top of the hour. But before we do that, I want to give us one last time. I'll have to check that out. I'll have to check that out later, Echo. I do want you to do this last moment to get your votes in, because I'm going to be playing the winner of this poll next week for the Patreon Field Chat Chosen Game of the Month. So get your votes in now, because I'm closing it down at the end of the session today. Heroes of Might and Magic 3 Complete, Sunless Skies, and Lost in Random. Get your votes in, everybody. Get your votes in right now. And I will be playing that next week. Oh man, Heroes of Might and Magic 3 Complete is forging into the it's just surging into the future here. Good stuff. Wow. Look at that. Just surging into the future. So that looks like that's what we're going to do, but we're going to wrap up here. Just a quick note while we're waiting. Again, I'm going to be back here Now I'm going to be over on GOG playing Ghosts of Saltmarsh. That's going to be at the top of the hour. That campaign is also going to get a little crazy, as you will note if you come show up in a little while. Then we're going to be off on Wednesday and Thursday, although surprises may arrive. It's possible. We'll have Thanksgiving. And then Friday, we have got the return of Esper Genesis. But as I've been mentioning, Carlos Hernandez and Claire Cooney are going to be here at my house. They're going to stay over at my house. I'm very excited. We're having a sleepover. It's going to be great. They're coming over. And so Carlos is going to be here live for Esper Genesis on Friday at Wind Coast Studios. So we're going to be live. And there may even be another surprise that I can't talk about yet happening on that Friday. But it will be for Esper Genesis on Friday evening. So that's going to be very exciting. And then on Saturday, we will have the return of D&D with INB as we go back to Eberron, Oracle of War, Where the Dead Wait. And this, yeah, you're not going to want to miss that. It's going to get, in the words of Parappa the Rappa, don't get cocky. It's going to get rocky. You want to be the best, then you better shock me now. Now kick, punch, kick, punch, 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 punch. I'm just letting you know Parappa the Rappa had something to say about that. In case you thought Parappa the Rappa has nothing to say about this point, it always does. Anyway, no, I'm not announcing an announcement. It's not an announcement. It's actually just, I don't know whether something is going to be happening on that day or not, Hilness, and I can't talk about it more until I get more details. The only thing I know for sure is that Carlos and Claire will be here. I don't know about anything else yet. So that's all. The eternal value of true poetry. It's true. So that's what we got going on. And then Sunday, we have the return of Sound Clash, which has been a couple of months off. But we have our new player, Iori Kusano from Blades of the Dark, Case the Cindered Seal fame, will be returning, will be joining the rest of the crew. And so that's going to be happening on Sunday, this coming Sunday, with Brandon O'Brien as your GM. So that's very awesome. And then next week, nothing on Monday, but then on Tuesday, we have got the Patreon-fueled Chat Chosen Game of the Month here. And then we will have Talisman Adventures over on GOG, and that will wrap up the month of November. So it's going to be very exciting stuff. All right, with all that said, I think the vote is clear. So we're going to last call this, going once, going twice. And there you go, Echo. Heroes of Might and Magic 3 complete is the winner. So Heroes of Might and Magic 3 is what I'll be playing next week. That's fine. I love Heroes of Might and Magic, so I am happy to be playing it for all of you lovely folks. That's going to be happening next Tuesday at this same time, starting at around noon Eastern and running until about 3 to 3:30 p.m. Eastern. So that's what we're doing next week. That's going to be good times. But now what I got to do is I've got to rise up on out of here because, again, I'm going to be Ghosts of Saltmarsh. You will DM with the HD patch. Oh, yeah, thank you. I think isn't that patch isn't that patch built into GOG's version, or is it not? If not, I'll apply it, but I thought it was. And yes, I was going to mention that actually, Garlic, which is that sales from athisarts.com have half of their proceeds donated to the Black Bottom Archives and make you eligible for a prize from Bag of Giving. And Bag of Giving, of course, is the thing done by Brendan Crilly and Mike Underwood, a series of tabletop one-shots with various authors and friends of the speculative fiction community and so on to benefit various charitable causes. First one of those was Fall of Magic we did earlier this month. We've got one coming up early next month on December 5th, I believe. I'll have more details about that later this week. And so you will be able to check that out. And supporting Bag of Giving, which you can find out more about with !bag, is this Athis Arts, which is going to be a part of that giveaway if you buy directly from them. So please do that because we want to support this as well. So get some sales in there. Athis makes, I mean, I'm biased because it's my publisher for several projects, of course. But they're not only good people, it really, really is legitimately a really good press that does very good stuff. And so I hope you will consider supporting them by picking something up and also making yourself eligible for the Bag of Giving. So there's that. So that is going to do it for me for today on this channel. But again, I'll be back over on GOG in about 35 minutes. I want to thank the amazing, well, first first of all, let me just tell you, follow the channel, please. Check out my YouTube with !ArvTube. Please follow me, subscribe to me over there. A lot of people have been subscribing there, which is great. Please continue to subscribe to me over there. It's free for you, but it really does make a difference for me, because if we can get it to 1,000 subscribers, we can monetize it, and that gives us a lot of other flexibility on the YouTube channel. So please, please, please subscribe to me over there. That is much appreciated. Thank you. !ArvTube for that. !ArvCord is the Discord channel where you can hang out with the Arvanauts in between streams. !ArvTweets is my Twitter, where you can see when I go live, and there's a variety of things that I talk about over on the Twitter. And then, of course, the website for this is arvaneleron.com. Financially, !ArvShop is the merchandise area. You can get the Adventures of Middle-earth stuff. You saw Mal and Tren wearing those shirts today. Also, you can get stuff for Infinity and Beyond, and soon to be Esper Genesis stuff also. That's that. And then we have ! That's Arv Treon, right? And then we've got ! Arv Shop. Then ! Arv Treon is the Patreon right there. 23 patrons, $2.11 per month. Really the financial backbone of the channel. That also makes a big difference. So please consider supporting us by jumping over on that and giving us some support over there. You can get inspirations to help the players as well. And that leads us as well to subscribing to the channel, which allows you to sub to the channel and get those awesome custom sub badges and emotes and all that kind of good stuff, and inspirations again to help the players. That helps us too. On the publishing side, ! Icarus from Athos Arts, which I've already talked about today. My graphic novel from them. ! Library is Tales and Tomes, The Forbidden Library. 5e Adventure and Sourcebook from Alligator Alley Entertainment, which also has their Kickstarter running as we speak. That is Mysterious Peaks, which is right now doing, was it 36 something last time? Yeah, 36,910. So they are making serious progress. They're halfway through 36,910. So that's super awesome. I hope they just keep going up and up and up. It's good for us, good for everybody who's involved with projects that I'm doing, and good for the channel as well. So I am excited about that. In fact, I'm going to be, during the Esper Genesis session, I'm going to be making a connected announcement, let us say. I won't say any more than that, a connected announcement. So we'll talk more about that then. So support them, Alligator Alley. That's my Tales and Tomes, The Forbidden Library, as I said. And then ! Gray Shade KS is my Gray Shade Kickstarter. That is also starting to accelerate in terms of art and other things that we're finding up there. So more to come on that front. And you can find out a little bit of the early details with that link there. And finally, as always, ! BLM, Black Lives Matter, very important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. And ! Help Now, which is the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention, very important to reach out to others when you need help and to reach out to others when they need help as well. I want to thank everyone who made this an awesome stream today. Thank you to my wonderful mods, Rudinell, to Hillness, to Terry Tunes, to Triffity Mats. Thank you so much for being the best in the business. Thank you as well to my wonderful subscribers. Thank you to Aruden and Patreon supporters. Arudinell, Hillness, Terry Tunes, Triffity Mats, Echo Alpha X5, Effect Life, Divinorium, Aranth, Garlic Tofu, T-Bank, and Trendane. Thank you, thank you. Thank you as well to my wonderful viewers. Thank you to Adept, to Big Boss, to Blue Jade Tiger. Thank you to Chandrandractus. Thank you to Craigery, as always. Thank you to Erebs, to Eraser. Thank you to Gaster Master Blaster. Thank you to Halloween. Thank you to Ananda. Special thanks to Ananda for the raid today. Thank you, Ananda, so much. Very generous of you. I'll see you over at GOG in just a bit. Thank you to Jagtress. Thank you to Caxips, to Ladybug, to Lana Ray, to Little Rurusasa. Thank you to Live Suing, to Nary, to Nonstop. Good luck with the house, Nary. To Nonstop, to Optic Nerve. Always a pleasure to both those people. Nonstop is a sub. I don't know why he doesn't show up there, but he is a sub. Optic Nerve, as I said, Spike Trap, the Mischievous something. I can't make that out. The Mischievous PXE, I see, and then V and K. Thank you, everybody. Much love to all of you, and I will see you over at GOGCOM in a little over a half hour for D&D with GOG, Ghosts of Saltmarsh. Until then, everyone be good to each other. Have a good night.